Hey everybody, hey, happy Tuesday. I hope everyone has had a great Tuesday so far. So pretty much we're going to discuss Shanquella Robinson. I'm going to have open chat and panel, and I pretty much put some other receipts out yesterday of Nizer, and I will post it on this channel as well, but I have already posted on another channel. I think some of you were already over there, but for those that were not, I'll also post it briefly, and then I will drop a link as well for anyone wants to discuss any aspect of the case. Okay, so let me go ahead and drop the link. So pretty much for Nizer, let me go ahead and post the additional receipts just in case some people missed out on those. Okay, let's see here. Pretty much what we discussed. I'm not really going to go over in great detail. That's why it's best to subscribe to both of my channels so you won't miss out on anything. But basically, this receipt right here is just basically Nizer talking about how we played the video, or should I say I played the video of Nizer stating that he did not sign his name on that guest list, and he was adamant about it, and people were saying that he was lying, that he did sign his name. He did sign his name, and they wanted to see his passport and his ID and just his verified his signature. And the concierge has now stated that Nizer did not sign his name. It was actually Dejanae. So that's why he wrote this right here. He wrote, another fact. Told y'all I did not sign my name on that damn guest registry because I was not there on time. Only way for me to get in on Saturday was if my name was added. Let me take this banner off so I can actually see the bottom. Was added from the start of the trip, which that is correct because I spoke to a concierge that actually stated that everybody has to be added to that list at the start of the trip. So anyways, that was actually proven to be a truth because the concierge has now stated in the documents that we see that Nizer did not sign his name. Dejanae actually put his name on the list. The next one is, let's see, hold on. The next one from him is this one. Where is it? Okay, and this one right here, let's go over this one. He said, I said, so that's even more proof that you came late. But like I said, the focus is not on that. It's thinking you got there late and then helped to cover things up or went along with the cover up. So pretty much I'm saying that I and some others have moved on from the fact that were you there or not during a brutal attack, okay? Because most people think that he was not there now during a brutal attack. Now, there are some people that are still putting him there on Friday and way before he was actually there. But for me and some others, we are not on whether he was there or not because I already have receipts, and I already, like I said on my other channel, the receipts I posted showing that he was not there are verifiable, meaning that you can call yourself to the airport, American Airlines, give them the information from his boarding pass, and they will tell you that he was actually on those flights. That's not something that I can lie on or anyone can lie on. Flights are always written down in history or stored in databases, and anyone at any time can go back and look at a certain flight for a certain day. These are records that have to be kept on who boarded the flight, showed their ID, etc., to board the flight and actually took the flight. So since anyone can call live and verify the information, which I have suggested that I don't have to be the only one that calls live to American Airlines, follows the correct prompts, calls the right number, contacts the customer service, and then that person actually reaches out to the hub. And what I mean by hub is that when you call, the first person that answers the phone does not have access to historical records on old flights. Okay. They have to put you on hold and actually reach out to their help desk or hub, and then that person will give that person information on who boarded the flight departure, arrival, etc. And there's 2 boarding passes I posted, so I have already challenged other people to call live and follow the same prompts and procedures and things I have done to get the information. Since that's verifiable, that will actually place him there on Saturday. And then by the time he got to arrived in Cabo, that will be at 12:19 p.m. Mountain Time Cabo. And from there, he will actually have to make his way to the villa, get transportation there as well. So that's when I made an estimated time of arrival at least 1:40 p.m. Mountain Time Cabo. But then at that point, he showed a video of him actually pulling up to the area of the villa, and it was actually 2:17 p.m. So I wasn't really far off on my estimated time of arrival. So that's where we are. So some people will still be stuck on that he was there, but as for me, I'm not really gonna, to be honest, I'm not really gonna entertain that because I have already put out receipts and anyone can call and verify it. So I don't really see that there's anything debatable on something that could be verified. There's validity there. So yeah, so this is my response to him is that, okay, I'm not really on whether you were there or not, because I have already confirmed that you were not there until this 2:17 p.m. time frame, or at least the 1:40 estimate that I have already estimated based on mapping, and I know the address of the villa, and I also know the address of the airport, and the estimated time frame of how long it takes to get there is at least 40 minutes with good traffic. Okay, so yeah, so pretty much he sent me the video of him pulling up. That's one of the videos. He also has another video that he has not given to me, but I am very much interested, and I'm sure you all would love to see it too, but he has not given me that video. And I have not even asked for the video. Would I probably ask? Yeah, but I don't know. Okay, so let's see. That's why I put, so that's even more proof that you came late, and that's, I'm talking about the video, okay, him pulling up. But like I said, the focus is not on that. It's thinking you got there late and then helped to cover things up or went along with the cover up. Okay, so I'm pretty much saying now I have already passed the point of whether you were there or not. Now I'm on what happened when you got there. Okay, and I think a lot of people are like, what happened when you got there and you saw her injuries, like her busted eye, her busted lip, and a knot on her forehead. He didn't see it immediately, but okay, well, he still saw the busted eye, he still saw the busted lip and everything else, and that does not add up to alcohol poisoning. So anyone to me would be suspicious under those circumstances. So that's why I said this to him exactly, that now this is the next question, is like, what happened when you got there on Saturday at 2:17 p.m. Okay, we can't really hold you responsible for what happened before you got there, but after you got there, we pretty much, hey, it's out there in the open. And that's when he responded, again, that does not add up. Why the fuck would they just call before 2 o'clock and I got there exactly at 2:17 p.m. So you telling me I knew what time the doctor was going to arrive? That means I had servers in the air to talk and discuss plans before landing, where I had time to totally avoid being a part of this whole situation. Well, I already been at the airport where I could easily just took my ass back home. Makes zero sense. And he says conspiracy theories will be silent soon. So pretty much he's saying that according to the document that I've already went over, I actually probably should have did it on this channel instead of my main channel, because now it feels like it's repetitive. I don't know who actually watched it on my main channel, who did not watch it. But pretty much I discussed that the call to the concierge by Dejanay, I mean, not call, but text, and make sure I clarify. The text to the concierge from Dejanay was at I think like between 1:50 p.m. and 1:52 p.m. And then for her to get a doctor or emergency help sent out for Shanquella. And then from there, the concierge reached out to the doctor who's contracted through Cabo Villas to provide services to their guests. And then the concierge stated that Dejanay texted him again to check on like what was happening. And then that was around 2:04 p.m. because it said 4 minutes later. So like 2:04 p.m. Cabo time. So from there, we would add in now to say that, okay, and then the concierge told her at 2:04 p.m. that a doctor was going to be arriving. She said, okay, and everything else, like agreeing to the fees and the cost. And so that makes it 2:04 p.m. Cabo time. And then Nazir pulled up at 2:17 p.m. Cabo time. So about 13 minutes later. And that's when he was in the car. So he still had to get out the car. So that would add a couple of minutes for that, right? So from there, we will have to say, when would they have had time to tell him, since early that morning he was already like taking a flight from North Carolina to Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas, and for a layover flight, and then from that layover flight was from Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas to Cabo, which is the SJD airport. So, and then so he was on a flight for that early morning hours. He was pretty much on the flight. So he's saying, like, how can I actually do all these calling and conspiring when I'm taking flights and on my way there, like taking these flights? And you taking the flight, you already know there's not a lot of communications on the airplane, right? So we have to look at his boarding pass and say, like, what times was he on the flight? So I have his boarding pass as well with the flight times. And then once he arrived in Cabo, he will actually have to get transportation to the villa and get out of the airport and go through customs and everything else. So he's pretty much saying, when will he actually have time to conspire with them about this cover up? As like before he arrived, he said if that was the case, he would just, if they told him something like that, he would just probably went back home or something like that. Like, why would he actually go get caught up in that mess? So then, so that's pretty much what he's saying with his statement. Let's see here. And basically, a lot of times he says conspiracy theorists will be silenced or the truth will come out. And he's pretty much saying, like, as time goes on, that this, I told you this was true. I told you this was true. And some things he says it has been turned out to be true, right? Over time when statements have came out. And then let's see. So that means to me that I have already stated I really don't believe that they told him ahead of time before he got there of anything, besides maybe alcohol poisoning, but anything. Like, I doubt they had time to go over a whole complete, oh, this is all what happened, brutally attacked her and everything else. And the way he arrived, like he was arriving to something that was going to be fun, not that he was arriving to something that he already knew was going to be crazy, like some kind of like a murder or some kind of brutal attack had just occurred. So then that brings me to, okay, well, once you got there and you saw her condition, then you had to be suspicious, because who in their right mind would not be suspicious? So that's where I'm at with this whole thing with Nazir. Once he saw her face, he had to be suspicious, and there's no way to me to be around it to say that he was not suspicious. Now, why you wouldn't call people out or make accusations, or, and it's neither here nor there, we can all discuss that. But to me, there's no way that anyone wouldn't be suspicious of that. The alcohol poisoning does not align with the face injuries, right? So yeah, so let's go to the next one. I think this is the last one I'm going to show for now. Let's see here. Oh, another question that was posed was, did Shanquella's father have to pay for the autopsy? And the answer is no, he did not have to pay for the autopsy that was performed in Mexico. The money he paid was for like transportation, like transporting her body back to the United States, not for the autopsy. Okay, so let me see here. I might have to make this into a mini mukbang because I'm hungry. Okay, let's see. I haven't ate today at all. To be honest, I haven't really ate today. I drank some water and some juices and everything, but I haven't really ate. Okay, so let's see the last one right here. Okay, let me make this bigger. Okay, so he wrote, they are not focused on shit that happened after I arrived. And I'm like, that's where I'm at. So if I'm right there, some people are there, okay? Because I go by like sequential, like order. I need to know like the timeline. So so now for Nazir, I'm at the 2:17 p.m. when he arrived, okay? That's where I'm at with that. So what happened after he arrived, that's still up in the air for me, okay? But before then, that's not up in the air. Okay. So he said they are not focused on shit that happened after I arrived. They don't care about that. They know I got there late. I got there after the call was made to the concierge. So it's impossible for me to have inflicted or participated, watched, did any of that. laughing out loud, just be patient, truth coming out in pieces. So as you can see with that last sentence, says just be patient, truth will come out in pieces. And just like before, he said conspiracy. So a lot of times his answer is always a truth. Wait and be patient, the truth will come out. So that's mainly his main response. So I'm going ahead and drop the link and we can all have a discussion on everything. And like I said before, just like with children or anyone that you see, or it can be a victim of IPV, which is intimate partner violence. Whenever you see any, like a busted eye, a busted lip, and things like that, you automatically will have suspicions of someone being beaten or abused. And if someone says alcohol poisoning, it doesn't really add up to that. So I would say for that, you had to be suspicious. And then once you had these suspicions, some people will say, well, I'm not going to accuse my friends, especially that I went to college with, and they were also supposed to be Shanquella's friends. I'm not going to accuse them of anything. And some, like even Khalil, I was a roommate with, so I wouldn't make these accusations. But a lot of times it really won't be considered accusations. It will be considered questioning, like, okay, so she has alcohol poisoning, but what happened to her eye? What happened to her lip? Or what happened? Like those kind of questioning, right? Some people consider questioning, some would consider accusations. So let me drop the link. Hold on a second. And we don't just have to discuss Nazir, but I do want to actually pretty much stick to what's in the statement for tonight, because I don't want it to be all over the place. We need to keep it a little centered. So we really want to try to keep it on the documents that were released by Sue Ann Robinson. Okay, so we're going to stick to that. Things surrounding that, should I say. Okay, so that's this, right? That's the link if anyone wants to join me on the panel. Let me go through the chat for a second. Now, my opinion is I don't really think that he was a part of any cover-up. I think that Nazir was also lied to. I think that he was lied to as well about it being alcohol poisoning. And then the way he moved was trying to help her or assist her with alcohol poisoning. However, even though I think he was lied to, I still think just by human nature, there had to be suspicion, because that's human nature to be suspicious of things that don't add up. Now, what people do with suspicions is varies, because some people are suspicious, but they don't want to throw out accusations to long-term friends or friends they've known for a while, especially if there's like 5 people saying alcohol poisoning when you get there, and you will have to call all of them a liar and say, well, something is up or suspicious, whatever, right? Okay, so let's see who's here. You're Dani, by the way. Okay. Cash, who says, also Spartacus keep on using hashtag just for Shanquella. Oh yeah, make sure you also sign a petition. That's change.org/Shanquella. That's change.org/Shanquella. Make sure you're signing and sharing that petition. Hey Shell, hey girl, hey. Touche. April Showers, hey girl, hey. Hello, Dani Mods and friends. Santan. Let's see. Okay, who else we have here? Sheila, hey. Yeah, I actually want that second video, but he might not release that video. Hey, Jessica. Yeah, I was on another channel on another live, so then I had to push back a little bit. But the good news is that I could be on here longer because I don't have anything else scheduled for right now. Hey, Sylvia. Hey. Extra special. Hi, Dani. I know you're going to make it do what it do. Make it do what it do. Yeah, pretty much yesterday I played the old Nazir video, the part where he pretty much was stating that he did not sign the guest list, and I went over these receipts and we went over documents as well. So I suggest you follow both channels, Dani Robertson and this channel. But most likely what I would do from now on is I would just make all content on this channel. That way y'all won't miss anything. But I definitely some people on the other channel are not on this channel, so I also wanted to update them. Yeah, so but most likely I'll probably just stick to just making sure it's just on this channel. That way it's not repetitive for people that are watching both channels. Yeah. So I would just make sure I keep it separate from now on. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. Hey Melanie. Hey. Yes, reading Avengers in chat. So look, nobody has clicked the link to come up here to discuss anything. So let me read through some comments. Let's see here. All right. Yeah. So make sure y'all hit the like button. Yes. It looks like I don't know if you're trolling or not, but I don't have time for trolls tonight. So you will just get blocked. I'm sorry, but nobody, I really don't like people coming to my channel trying to tell me what to do. I'm going to have to get blocked. You're coming across a little trolly. Okay. Yeah. No, one thing no one can do is just come to any of my channels and try to control anything that I do. If you don't like how I run things and do things, you can just there's like a big exit sign and it's lit up and it's in red and it says exit. Okay, and it has like a yellow lettering. Hit that exit. Hey Aries. Hey. I don't understand, Dani. I would have went out from everybody. Yes, to me, like I would have been suspicious and I would have been questioning, right? So I said there has to be an element of suspicion there. Now, what people would do with suspicions, like I can think of times in life where I was suspicious of something and I really wouldn't want to throw out the accusation, because throwing out the accusation would be accusing someone of something that once said I wouldn't be able to take back, right? But for this, I still feel like I still would have been questioned. I don't give a damn. Like, to me, if I have friends there, they should be upfront and honest with me. I'm like, yeah, what happened, right? Like, why? I'd be like, why her eye busted? Why her lip busted, right? I don't really care who's there. And call the police. Yeah. Hey, gotta take 5. So that's why I said I'm at with that now. Before that 2:17 p.m., I'm not really holding him responsible for anything. But after the 2:17 p.m., then that puts him there. Hey, Kiva, come get this commentary, y'all. So make sure y'all check out her channel. Come get this commentary for some of the same topics I discussed and additional topics as well. She has 2 channels. That's Come Get This Commentary and Come Get This Commentary too. Yes. Okay. C King says hashtag Justice for Shanquella. Let me see how many petition signatures I have. Okay, I have Mel joining. Hey, Mel. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, Dani. It's my first time on your channel. How are you? Well, on your panel, I meant.
Welcome. I'm good, and you?
I'm fine. Thank you for asking. I really appreciate you covering Nazir.
Yeah, I heard you speak on Nazir as well, and I think we're on a lot of the same page with him. I mean, to be honest, at first I was really like just the same as others, but as time went on, then things were not really adding up for me. So that's when I was like, something's not really adding up on a lot of things, right?
So it kind of forced you to go back and look at his live and just see. But even with him getting there, I think sometimes when we're on this side and we're thinking about the nature of the things that happen, it is a little bit easier to say, if he saw this, he should have did this. But I think, to me, I feel like when he walked in, everything was just going really fast. He noticed stuff because he had to notice it. That was only I think that is the reason why they told him that a doctor was on the way based on what he saw. Like, what's up, And I think that he did question something and they told him a doctor was on the way. But I think that he was just so into trying to help her that, the thought of a police coming or to question the other people that were around, because the way that it seems that he was the only one that was trying to help and everybody else was just lollygagging around. I don't know. What do
Yeah,
you think?
I think that, to be honest, looking at a timeline of him getting there like 2:17 p.m., and I will actually pull up the timeline again to see what time the doctor arrived. So if he got there at 2:17 p.m., what time is the doctor arrive? I need the timeline again. Hold on. Do you know what time, the exact time the doctor arrived, like by memory?
Not really sure. I just know that the concierge called her at 2. So not really knowing how far she got, but how long it took her to get there. But I understand the thought process behind it, but I think when I just kind of look at it as if it was me a little bit logical, I just really think it was so much going on that all the things that we're thinking he should have did. I guess sometimes when you're in the moment, you're not thinking about that. You're just looking at something and someone told you this, but you're looking at this and you're just trying to figure out, okay, well, where's the doctor? And they tell you a doctor's coming, and I don't know. I don't know if he had time to. I can feel that he may have confronted them at one time, but I just think when he arrived in that moment to see something that was totally different than what he was told, I'm not sure if he really had time to assess it and begin to make all these calls. Oh, let me call the police, because then the police gonna be what you want, and you don't know because you really don't know, really. And I'm with you. It would be more like him making accusations to 6 other people that were there. Well, how many people was there? 7? No, okay, now it's 6 or 5. Is it 6 or 5 there now? 5?
Well, it'd be the Cabo Five that were there because Shanquella was unresponsive at that time.
Right. So the 5 of them, you're looking at all these folks and you don't know what the heck is going on. So walking into that, I think right now it probably wasn't all registering in his mind to do all the things that we feel like he should have done.
Yeah, and I don't think that he was a part of any cover up or anything. And I don't think that he was responsible for calling the doctor. The reason I say that is because once he arrived, they had already arranged for a doctor to come. So they are pretty much telling him that the doctor was on the way, which he stated, which is actually true because in there, the concierge stated that the doctor was on the way before he arrived, right? So at first I was like, well, he should have got there and called for help. But then now I know that help was already called before he arrived, or texted, should I say, are coming. So
Yeah.
that wouldn't be his responsibility, right? And from there,
Right.
I still believe that he was suspicious, but I don't believe that he wanted to accuse them of doing anything to her because not only were they supposed to be his friends and it was 5 against 1, but they were also supposed to be Shanquella's friends are cool with her based on social media posts that they all knew each other. So I think that he didn't want to
Right.
accuse them of anything um, with that. But I think that what will calm some people is just admitting or acknowledging that you were suspicious of something being off because no one, to be honest, most people, the majority won't believe that you were not, there was not some kind of element of suspicion there. If I get on a trip and someone has, they tell me it's alcohol poisoning and I see injuries to a face and I know this person and this person is a person that takes care of their image and they take care of that, their hair, their makeup, they're making sure they're on point a lot of the times, like call the boss.
Mm-hmm.
I would be actually skeptical
Mm-hmm.
of them having injuries on their face on the trip to Cabo, Mexico, right? So I'm just saying, like, just
Right.
even getting to being suspicious of like why she has this and why is that's that, and not wanting to accuse will actually probably help him in this case. But yeah,
Mhm. Now, this is a thought-provoking question. Do you think he took those suspicions back to when he went to talk to his mom? Because me, I feel like when he went to talk to her mom, Suan, what's her name? Suan? Is that her
uh-huh.
name? The Miss Rob,
Yeah.
the attorney? I think she
Yes,
was
Sue Ann
there.
Robinson.
I think she was there when he went and spoke to her mom.
Why you say that?
That's my opinion.
I don't think they
Because
had their lawyer at that
he
time.
would be the only one that could give them just his live video gave everybody just a little bit of insight of what actually happened. Because when if you look at it in the first beginning, it looks like a, oh my God, why did that happen? So to me, it was always, oh my God, why did that happen? Well, who friends would do that, you know? So he gave a little insight through his live, and I think that he, you know, like you say, he had to have suspicions. I feel that he took those suspicions to her mom, and I believe the attorney was there when he got there, and that is why the way of his release of information and why he's not releasing it. Also, the release of their information. See, they have enough of what he said, and a lot of what he said more than likely prompted her to go back to Mexico and then follow the route she went. And I think that they are able to piece what he said and the information that she found together to release only part. I think they feel that we're going to release this part first. This is enough to get the attention of DOJ, but also to see which one of those five people would then want to come out more and tell their side. I think it's just a
Well,
strategy.
the thing
It's a
is,
good one.
I don't think that for Sue Ann Robinson, this is like someone I don't think they knew they had her as a lawyer at that time period when this first happened. It was someone they got like way after their GoFundMe was set up. So when are you thinking that they got this lawyer, Sue Ann Robinson?
I don't really know like how much time had passed, how much time went on from because I didn't know about her story before. I think I was actually on YouTube watching a Jackson State football game, and for some reason it just popped up, you know, on the feed. By this time, when this popped up, to me, they may have already laid her to rest. I believe because I can remember seeing the um, the funeral. So from the time they set up the GoFundMe, which I don't know, I donated to it, but I don't know. And so how much time had went by before all of these different things began? Because even prior to them setting up the GoFundMe, at one point within those first 5 days, they had to realize that they probably needed an attorney. And I want to say when I went to when I saw some of the earliest stuff is when I saw that lady's name, but it was so brief that it kind of like went away, and then all of a sudden, like maybe a month, a couple of weeks ago, there she was, but her name came up before then. Well, Ben Crump's name came up way before then. That's why when I think when she did that first interview with Nancy Grace, I believe she was there then because I could
The
tell by
thing
the way
is,
she was answering the questions, which was a little bit different than her previous interviews. But the question her interview was different, and I believe that lady was there. They just didn't show her because I think it could have been at one time they probably just didn't want anybody to know. But I remember seeing the early videos and Ben Crump's name came up, but I was trying to figure out why I never saw him. But they never mentioned it again either.
yeah, I don't think that the thing is when Sue Ann did her first interview, she really didn't have that much knowledge, like even know certain names. So I really don't think I think she had just joined in on this at that point. I forgot. I need to go to the channel she went on and look at the date of that interview. But at that time, she really didn't know that much.
Yeah.
So I really don't think she was on the case way before that time point. Um, she seems like a person that will actually make her presence more known, should I say? Um, so I don't really think that she has spoken to Nazir at all, should I say?
Okay.
Because she didn't really have, to me, she doesn't really seem to have that much knowledge. Like, hey, one of the, like, as she has spoken to one of the Cabo, I think by the time she came on, most of the Cabo had pretty much stopped speaking, like talking or saying anything. But yeah, overall, I really don't think that I don't really think that I think that Nazir, as I've always stated since the for a while now, that I think that he was lied to as well about it being alcohol poisoning, and he went up with that. And let me pull up this article, and I actually need to pull up the unofficial police report to see a different timeline. But this is like the Charlotte Observer, which I kind of like most of the time to look at, and it pretty much says that about an hour later, like so maybe around 3:15 or 3:13, around that time is when the doctor arrived. So that means that if that's the case, I need to actually look at it, be specific and look at an accurate timeline. But if this is the case around 3:15 p.m. of her arrival, then that will only make it so that he was only there for an hour before the doctor arrived. So he will only have an hour time period of being with Shanquella, right? So that actually but then there's another time of different time, so it doesn't really that doesn't really add up for someone to be a part of anything, should I say, not enough time to get there and be added into everything or included. Hey Shell, hey.
Sorry. Hi, Danny. Hi, Belle. I'm just
Hey,
doing
Shanquella.
How you doing? So, I think I may have missed the very beginning. But I'm here now. I've been waiting for your chat, Danny. So thanks for having me. Um, we're right now we're going over the from the Charlotte Observer. Um, I just think that like now that we've heard everything. I think, well, not everything, but as of what we've heard, um, I guess to me, um, I'm thinking that, as far as like the statement, with the concierge, I feel like I have so many more questions from that concierge. Like, like why is he listed as a victim and a witness? Like, is that like a mistake, or is it something that we don't know that transpired once, during, or while he was there? Like, why is he a witness and a victim? As if I said that right. Sorry. Like, why is he a witness and a victim? Um, and then why is his time so different than from what we see on those videos that or those IG stories that Shanquella. Any thoughts from anybody on that, on those two things?
I really think that maybe I don't really think that he will be considered a victim. I think that they probably were. It could be like an error where they probably just if it's checked right, and then it probably could have been an error. I don't really see why they would classify him as a victim because he wasn't really attacked or a part of any incident. If that was the case, then there would actually be additional charges for him, like brought upon by someone, right? So I actually think there was probably an error, selecting the wrong box or something. I don't really think see how he could be a victim of anything.
Okay, that just seems strange to me. So I was just wondering about that.
Well, and I can't really give information without telling information, should I say? But I have spoken to all the concierge people, right? And I think that if one had been injured, they probably would have said it or something. Yes, I don't really think that anyone was injured. They pretty much, focus on that, the case. Yeah, I
Okay.
can't really give information because then it would just tell like information, should I say.
Okay, I get that. I get that. I
Yeah.
just thought it was like it did raise an eyebrow. It did raise an eyebrow. Like I was thinking, like, did something like transpire that day? And then remember he said that his I guess his boss or whatever, I don't think they put it that way, that told him they like he relieved him and told him he could go. Like, was there something missing? Did he, you know, was it more to it of why he asked him to leave and he just didn't put it in that statement? That's what I was thinking. But now that you confirmed that, I take that. It was just an error.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my speculation or guess on it. I mean, to me, there will be additional charges or other things said by Dani De La Rosa Nye about concierge being attacked or injured, and there's charges going to be brought for that as well. It never has been included in anything. So I'm thinking that they probably just checked that box. I don't know, by mistake. What was actually checked on the other box for the concierge manager? Let me
He was
see. Was
he
that
was
checked
checked.
on anything?
No, he was checked as a witness, and then the concierge was listed as a witness and a victim.
Yeah, I'm thinking that could have been an error. I spoke with all the concierge, and this one I think they would have said that they have been injured too. I mean, like I don't. They never said anything about it. Okay, so shout out to. Let me read this super sticker really quickly. And I think you had another question as well. Did I answer your question? Just joining the chat. Justice for Shanquella. Shout out to Ladam Sweet Tea for the super sticker. Yes, onto yes. $5 super sticker. And everybody else, make sure you just hit the like button. That's a free way to support my channel. Hit that like button. I think someone just said before that okay, I'm gonna get to your question about the petition in just a second. So Ladam also says 153 in the chat, but only 84 likes. Come on, fam, we can do better than that. Yeah, y'all can do better than that. Come on now, like hit that like button. Hit that like button. It should not just be 84 likes or 153 people watching. Well, it's 142 now. Okay, so get the likes up, please. Thank y'all. Okay, so this person says, Ebeck says, Dani, I signed the petition, but it had a different photo of Shanquella Robinson. Okay, this is mine, but there are others. You can sign all. We all have the same end goal of justice for Shanquella Robinson, so you can sign them all. But the one that has 38,664 signatures is my petition, Justice for Shanquella Robinson. We need answers. So that's the one I created. It has 38,664 signatures. So it's almost at 39,000 signatures. And I also have another petition that I would like y'all to sign as well. And that's at change.org/Jalen Lewis. That's change.org/Jalen Lewis. Sign that petition as well. Just make sure you keep them two separate cases and two separate people. And also keep in mind that once you sign a petition, I also have email addresses that you can contact for each case, all on the petition and all the information that you need. Okay, so what other questions should we go over? Or what should we all discuss?
Danny, while you're right there about the petition, I signed it. I signed it, and I signed my whole family. Like I went in and put everybody's email, signed it, in that way. Um, as well, like I said, I've sent it to like Facebook groups to try to get more signatures and stuff like that. But while you're on that, once you reach your goal, I think is it 50,000? That yeah, 50,000. Where does it go? Like who does this petition go to, as far as once you've met your goal? Like what's the next step after it's met the 50,000?
Okay, pretty much. I can go over like a brief overview of the petition and how things really work. Okay, for the petition itself, like the numbers matter because I can send this petition to different people and tell them 38,664 people want justice for Shanquella. 38,664 people are watching and waiting for justice for Shanquella. So if anyone in North Carolina, like let's say the mayor or anybody else, is trying to get like reelected or voted back into office, they don't want a lot of people out here having like a negative feeling about them or feeling like they're not doing their part in this. So then they will probably want to give a statement, which someone from the mayor's office did respond at one point. Also, as a way to show that how many people actually support getting justice for Shanquella, because we can easily say a lot of people want justice, but where's the proof? Like, where's the receipts or proof that a lot of people want justice for Shanquella? Like, how can we actually show a number of people? So that's when you can have a petition and say, well, this is how many people want justice for her. There's a lot of people, right? So that's one way. The second thing about the petition is it's not just about like signing it. It's power in numbers. So once I sent out like an email, like before we would all like mass report that Instagram page, and then it was deleted, like the fake Instagram page of Shanquella's mother, Salamandra Robinson, right? And then there's also a number of people like emailing, calling people's jobs, and then people were getting fired. Like Elise got fired, Dejanay got fired, the doctor got fired. People mass calling and emailing, and it's pretty much like it's power in numbers on things, like we can all unite and do certain things, email and apply pressure. If thousands of people are emailing somebody, then they're more likely to do something to apply pressure or put what's on next. So again, that's why the whole petition, if you actually scroll down it, let me scroll down for a second, it actually has on here, it says started this petition to LPI Charlotte and 12 others. So every time someone signs this petition, the email gets sent out to LPI Charlotte and 12 others I have listed. At one point, it was 25. But once we got some people fired, then we could remove some of the contacts. Okay, so once we got Dejanay fired from Blue Rhino, then we don't have to have those contacts. And they were actually happy to have all those calls stopped. Trust me. Like if you guys watch the old videos, same with the hospital, with the doctor, and then Elise Hyatt, they were all fired, right? And then if you actually scroll down a petition, I have like Mexican officials, LPI, like U.S. officials, the Secretary and Anthony Blinken, like Mexico, like Daniel De La Rosa, Victor Castro, like Ken Salazar. So pretty much this is like a place where everybody can go and see all the information they need on who to contact, like even the Department of Justice, their phone numbers, Roy Cooper, the governor. So it's a place where everybody can like say, hey, who do I need to contact? And I also have the LPI spokesperson, Shelley Lynch. And so Adina King, Department of Justice. So it's like a one base where you can go find any information on Shanquella of how you can help. And I also added in Tamika Mallory. She made some pamphlets or brochures on who to contact as well. I added hers because it's a united effort. And then so then finally we get to the other question you had about the signatures. I can actually download the signatures at any point and then send it to people and say, this is the petition for Shanquella Robinson, and there's 38 something signatures, so I can submit this to people, right? And my goal is to try to submit 50,000 signatures at that point to, it can be the White House, it can be Department of Justice for Shanquella, that's the U.S. attorney over her case. I think it's like Dina King is over there, and Shirley Lewis. And the LPI, I have all their emails, even Mexico, right? So my goal, to be honest, I probably actually send it at 40,000, but I feel like 50,000 is a great number to have, 50K. But at 40K, I can also send it and then probably send it again at 50K, right? So it's different ways. So basically, it's a lot that goes into petition. It's not just about signing it; it's about taking action, and also later you can also submit the petition. Now, just because you submit it to people, that don't mean that they will actually do anything. Just like recently, Sue Ann Robinson submitted the petition. I mean, not petition, but she submitted documents to the Department of Justice, but they still have not moved on anything. So, but it's still taking action. And you're trying your best to do something in the case.
Okay. That's good. I mean, a lot of the things I think that I knew, some of the things you just touched on, I didn't. But I thought, I know, like, again, like, I was just like wondering all around, like, what is it going to do? Not saying that, it's just, I just wanted to know. And I think that, the information you gave was like, really good. Like, Some of the things you just said, I didn't even know. Like, again, I went and I read what you said. I probably didn't scroll. I know I didn't scroll down and see all those other things. So that's good to know. Um, how powerful this petition is, and hopefully, as people, they continue to keep signing this petition, because it's more than just putting an email and clicking a button. Like, this is a powerful movement, in in efforts of getting justice for Shanquella. So thank you very much.
Yeah, and I appreciate everyone for signing and sharing as well, because I definitely I'm just one person that signed it, and there's still 38,663 people outside of me that have signed the petition as well. So it's all a team effort, and making emails and phone calls and everything else. It's a lot. So I'm actually happy that even though it's like considered street justice, like even getting those people fired from their job was actually some justice. So a little bit of justice, because we know now that, hey, they lost their job. I don't know if they're still trying to apply for new jobs, but I know that those old ones are gone, 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 right?
Yes, you're right.
While we're on the story, I want to ask both you, Shell and Danny, a question. Because I guess throughout the case, it's always the question of cover up. So when you speak about cover up, does that mean the Cabo Five are covering each other? Because when I heard something the other day, and it turned on a light bulb in my head, thinking, why would Mexico try to cover this up? Each year, Mexico earns about $11.4 billion from just U.S. tourism, period. When you think about that number, even when it comes to the cartel, that's, you know, for the most part, the cartels are not really terrorizing people. They're really not, because they all are a part of that $11.4 billion from U.S. tourism. People buy stuff when they go over there, alcohol, recreational, whatever. So I thought, like, well, why would they cover that up and to lose that kind of revenue from the United States? So that's what I was trying. So I was thinking, like, so the cover up is Mexico, or just those the people that were involved in the situation.
I don't believe in any Mexico cover up. That I don't believe that any Mexico was involved in covering up this whole thing. But I do believe that there was negligence as far as the doctor goes, and as far as law enforcement goes, because I think Dangerous has a comment that will actually I will answer at the same time as this. Let me go to Dangerous comment. Where is it? He actually stated something like it wasn't really Nazir's job to assess. I said something. Hold on. He said those questions about injuries are for the doctor, not Nazir. Once the doctor arrived, she was in control of the situation. Just my opinion. So for this, I would say when I mentioned Nazir and the fact that he should be suspicious, that has nothing to do. That could be any person, even a lay person can have suspicions. Like if you have a child that has been sent home with the cold, and they said they're sending them home with a cold. So then the child arrives home and then they have a busted eye and a busted lip. You're then going to question, even as a lay person with no medical education or expertise, would say, well, this is not aligned with the symptoms of a cold, having a busted eye and a busted lip. So you have suspicions about what happened. So that's why I mean by as a layperson, you can still have those suspicions, which I do believe he had. Now, as far as a professional opinion of her actual diagnosis, that will actually come into play with the doctor and her job description, right? So I believe that the doctor got there and she should have definitely assessed Shanquella herself and not went by exactly what was told to her. because I mean, every time you go to the doctor, they say what's wrong. You tell them what's wrong, but they don't always go by that. They have to assess you and examine you, and then give their own diagnosis. You might think you have bronchitis, but they might say it's pneumonia, and that's their job to assess, right? Even despite what you say. So, despite what they said was the cause, once the doctor even questioned them, say, why does she have a knot on her head? So the doctor was assessing Shanquella. So I don't know what they said about the knot on her head, right? And also I don't know who was in the room at that time. Was it just Nazir helping her with the CPR, or were others in there? We don't know. So the doctor was assessing her. That's all she saw, the knot on her head, and questioned it. And then Nazir said that's when he realized it. He saw it too. Okay. And then he didn't actually say anything about any others chiming in. So I wonder if he was in that room by himself with the doctor, or where the others at. So, and then also we bring in the police officer who comes to the crime scene. He also sees the victim, Shanquella, and he sees her condition. And that also does not align, of course, with alcohol poisoning. Since those are professionals, I believe that it's their job to assess the situation. And since they did not properly do so, I do believe that they are negligent on part of Shanquella. And they also kind of affected her getting justice, because now I'm questioning how the crime scene was examined and evaluated, based on them not really assessing the situation and her condition. So, do I believe that they intentionally covered it up? No, but do I believe that they were negligent? Yes. I think that, I hope that answers your question. So, I don't think they intentionally mean to cover up anything, but I think them going along with what the Cabo Five stated, instead of doing their own assessment as medical expert or even law enforcement professional, that led to assisting with them pretty much getting away. So negligence, I would say.
Danny, can I say this though?
Yeah.
I'm one that thinks that she's covering something up, respectfully. Um, and I think that because that, and I don't know what it is in Mexico, but like in United States, if there is some type of, if there was some inclination to the point of malpractice, then even with that, she can't be arrested for that. Like they go to arbitration and then it's like a civil matter and all this other stuff, but they don't actually get arrested or charged with anything. And Mexico has already said that they have no intentions on, they don't even have any intentions on charging them with anything. Um, or, and again, even with that, that would be like more in a different type of court. It's not like like a court that we go to for criminal and civil, not for physicians, not in there, and sorry, not in United States. But with that being said, if that's all she's facing, and even Mexico said that they didn't want to, they didn't want to pursue her for anything, then why is she hiding? And she may not be hiding for herself. She may be hiding, um, you know, for things that she knows. And it can't be six black kids that came to Mexico, for vacation and things went south, because she could just simply implicate, you know, people as per what she knows and be done with it. But she doesn't want to talk and she can't be found. Um, and then, she was let go by, so we think, because I also have problem. I have a piece of me that thinks that she wasn't let go, because remember when you called her, we called for her to try to get a number. The guy said, well, what did you need it for? Is it pertaining to an admission? No, if she was no longer there, why would she even anybody need to know about an admission? So again, that was another red flag to me, saying that that they're being told to tell us that she's no longer there. But is she really there? And why are they hiding her? Because, at this point, they've already came out and made a statement that they don't want to charge her with anything. But so for whatever reason, they don't want the United States to get in contact with her either, because when Suang went there, they're like, no, we don't, she no longer works there, and we, I guess they couldn't give her a phone number or whatever. But as long as you're a physician, you have to be registered with the medical board, along, with not only just your phone number and your address. but they didn't make that available because they're hiding her for some reason. And it can't, if she's not being charged with anything, then what is she hiding for? So I have strong reservations about that. I think there's something fishy happened one way or the other, and I'm just waiting to hear more about the doctor.
Well, my question is why? What gives you the impression that she's hiding? And also, when I called, they actually gave me her phone number, to her personal phone number. So they actually kind of like breached like her privacy a little bit by giving me that. So I don't really consider that as hiding. If they actually gave me her personal phone number, and then the on the email they had was for that, for when she was working for them, right? But they did. He said, but first he didn't want to give me the number because he said it was it's her private personal number. And I said, well, I persisted, and then he actually gave me the number, so I don't see that's hiding. And then I also sent that information over to Sue Ann. I forwarded the email address that was given and the phone number, right? So, yes, I don't really see why, but I do think that just like the maid and the others, the concierge, they are being told not to speak. So I just think that they're just following orders from the police that not to speak.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that she's an essential an essential player um in the whole situation, as it pertains to, what happened. And she's being shielded. And then when you think about the other medical personnel who were there, there comes the what do you call it? The people who did the medics. I couldn't get it out. So then they're not being shielded, and they gave their statement. It was like, all, okay, this is what I know, and here's the information. Sue Ann said she was able to get with them, and got stuff from them, right? But as far as the doctor, oh no, they're shielding her. And you can't tell me that they don't know, because you can go to the medical board, and get her. It's against. Well, again, I don't know what it is in Mexico, but in the United States, it's against the law for a doctor, not to register with their complete address and phone number, in case of a situation that they do need that doctor again. Now, in Mexico, maybe that's not how it works, but in the United States, that's how it works. They can't hide their name, phone number, and address for those, you know, reasonable, reasons, So again, her going all the way there, and she's not coming there to live. She's coming there to figure out some things, and they're not making her available, not even to the attorney. And I just find that very strange, and I don't see what they're hiding.
I personally think that the hospital, I don't really think the hospital will give that much information, because they let her go and everything like that. And I also don't believe that Sue Ann persisted when she went to the hospital to get like any other information, like her personal information, to be honest. I mean, because I was able to get her personal phone number. And actually, if you actually look at let's see here, because remember, some people actually were in my chat. They said they would have been hung up on that guy a long time ago, right? But I persisted. Sometimes you can't not just take the first no. You have to keep on like going at it, right? So pretty much, if you actually look at this police report on page, not police report, but on that document that was released on page 10 of 18, it says, it says around 2 p.m. on October 29th, 2022, I called Dr. Carolina Ornelas, who was our contact for medical attention of our guest and whose telephone number is. So the police were given Dr. Carolina Ornelas' phone number. So the police have her number if there's anything they need to contact Dr. Carolina for. Right now, as far as any lawyer getting the information, then the lawyers pretty much have to persist with getting the information or getting the. I'm sure if she actually talked to the police department or whoever gave her the documents, they would give her the information, right? So I would say just be more persistent with trying to get the information. But as far as hiding, I don't know who she will hide from, because the police have her information to be able to do any questioning. And then, so who would she be actually hiding from in this regard? You're saying like the lawyer, Shanquella's lawyer, that actually will be through the court processes when she's actually brought in for like dispositions or anything like that, or deposition or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if the issue, if I should say hiding or she's being shielded, but I think that she's just not as accessible. Um, and then they said that she's fired. Like, okay, if she didn't make any type of, you know, egregious mistake, what is she being fired for? What is she's being fired for what?
Oh yeah, but that is the case now. When I say shielding, I mean when I say there's a difference between like, okay, for shielding, I would agree with, but I would not far as hiding. And I mean shielded for that's as far as the American Medical Center, because as I stated before, they are the ones with the deep pockets, and they will be the one responsible because she was their employee. So to protect themselves, they let her go to try to like mitigate it or appease the audience or pacify the situation. Say, hey, we fired her, so now I hope you just let us off the hook and not like come after us in a lawsuit. So they don't want to answer any questions or say anything because they don't want that to be used to sue them. So they're trying to avoid a lawsuit. So when the shielding comes, it's actually coming from the deep pockets American Medical Center. Okay. And
Mhm.
yeah, so that's when I think it is that she has been shielded and not like she's in hiding. It's just the American Medical Center is trying to protect their themselves and their assets from being sued. And letting people go is a way for a business to avoid any accountability or responsibility for having that employee on the payroll still. And it's also to appease society and the masses of letting that person go. And that includes the others that will let go. So yes, I do believe she was let go. And remember at that time, I actually was calling the managers and the owners like should I say the managers over the American Medical Center. And I was kept stressing that a lawsuit could be had. And even like when she was fired, I said she really let go because of lawsuits. That's stressing that. So I really do believe that she was let go because of the lawsuit, and they don't really want to talk at American Medical Center because they don't want to be sued. So why would they actually give up a lot of information to American Medical Center and then they get sued once they give up this information? Now, as far as the police, they have access to her and they have the phone number given by the concierge. And also just, I'm sure they already took statements from her. So, and the FBI will have contact with her. So that's why I said I don't think she's hiding from anyone. I think that she's out living her life, and that American Medical Center is the one that's protecting their ass from getting sued. But I
Right.
do believe also that the doctor would um I do believe that the doctor's negligence helped cover up certain things, and that she would probably say certain things or do certain things to protect her own as with most people are trying to, if you're about to lose your job or you are trying to protect your own ass, you probably would try to say certain things that might be different from what actually happened to protect your own self from like responsibilities or accountability or punishment, should I say. So I do believe a lot of responsibility with the doctor, and that's why she was let go, because they realized that she was actually negligent in this whole thing and did not do everything she was supposed to do. That's why they let her go. They know that they can be sued, but nothing they can really do because being Crump and Sue Ann Robinson can definitely sue them, and I'm sure they know that and they're aware of who they could actually sue.
Right. Okay. So then the other thing is that and I know like when you were reading the statement, and then where the black areas are is redacted. The other thing that my mind until I hear everything, I guess it would be up until I guess they go to court unless somebody speaks out. But we're assuming that this doctor, whatever her name is it, how do you say it? Could whatever her name is. But the thing about it is that when he's making a statement, he says he said that he's going to call as if he's calling a man. But then obviously, as far as what we know, she's there. So I have questions of did someone else come there first and then she was called, or was she the one that showed up because he said that he was calling the man? And then I remember Nazir said that he was told that a female was coming. I mean, sorry, that a male was coming, but a female showed up. But in that statement, he says he said, go above that. It's in the very like the is it 48? So I guess it may be 47. When he says that he's making a phone call, he says that he referenced the doctor as a he, not a she. So if it's a person that's associated with their villa, that they have, that they know that they're calling, and he's making reference to that person. If it's Dr. Cornell, however you say her name, if it's her, then why is he calling her? Why is he calling her he? Hold on, I gotta slow down right there. I can see, but I can't see because I'm on my phone. It's so small. But I know that there was a point that I pulled out for myself for my personal records to go over um in reference. Hold on. I asked her if she agrees. Oh gosh.
Actually, I see the page. It's on page 10 at the bottom, like the.
mm, and he says that he makes reference to sending a man, and then here's this woman. So I just have questions about that. Did one come, and then because something had happened, then she comes after. Like, does she have to test or something like that? What all happened during this whole situation? And then I also have questions about um the toxicology. I know they haven't released that yet, but he also makes reference that it's $100 for the visit, and then medicine. What was the medicine? Because that's not an IV. They made reference to the IV to say the IV didn't make it. It was unsuccessful. So what medication did they give her? And again, it could be nothing, Dani, but rightfully I just have questions about that part of the statement as it pertains to her health.
Personally, I will actually have to see the official document, because whenever you're taking a document from, it's in Espanol, it's in Spanish, and then you're translating it to English. If you've ever used like a translator, the pronouns always get mixed up. So sometimes I have to go over it like a couple of times before I actually make sure the pronouns are straight and not mixed up. So I actually believe a lot of things are lost in translation, and we definitely goes to the pronouns. A lot of times the she is always turned to a he, with that whole thing. Like when you're translating from this was originally in Espanol, so I think when it was translated to English, the pronouns got mixed up. And then, like I said, that happens to me all the time. But if that's the doctor they always choose, Dr. Carolina Ornelas, we have already like established that's the doctor that came out. So to me, if there was an additional doctor, then there would be, why would one doctor come out and then leave when they are a medical expert and they can give their own opinion? I think that that doctor, if it were two, both would have been added to the police report, right? So if one came out, they would be in a police report, and then another one will come out, and that would be in a police report. And then Nazir would actually have mentioned, well, that doctor came out, and then another doctor came out. It was so two came out, but he just said why nobody talk about a nurse, because he automatically assumes it's a woman that comes out with that uniform on as a nurse instead of a doctor. He just said he only mentioned that one person, right? So since there's not two doctors in the police report, then I don't think it's two doctors that came out, because everybody that was assisted or whatever, to be honest, would be in that police report. I mean, as far as professional goes, should I say?
Right, but as far as like right now, by being redacted, we really don't see what the doctor's name is right now.
But the doctor's name is on the unofficial police report as Dr. Carolina Ornelas. Remember, the police report that was released, and then everybody, even the name on this concierge, this statement right here, Suni Popoko.
Mm-hmm.
Suni Popoko is as the investigator that's listed for this case on that unofficial police reports, and that was the last person I didn't see. Everybody that I looked up is on that unofficial police report. They match up to what they are in real life. And on that unofficial police report, they actually list the doctor as Dr. Carolina Ornelas. That's how I found her.
You talking about the one that the Mexican journalist put out?
Yeah, everybody that's on there actually fits their role. Like there's Suni Popoko, we see him in this statement. He's on here. There's the Mabi, the paramedic, she's in there. And Dr. Carolina is the only doctor listed. So if there was other professionals, they would be listed on there, but they're not. I don't know if I
Okay.
have that with me because I have a new computer now, but yeah, so everybody that's a professional will be listed on that first page of that unofficial police report, and they have all been verified as real people that exist that were there that day. So she's
Yeah,
the only doctor listed on there. I don't know if I have that with me.
yeah. I just for some reason I think it's more to it. I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly, but I just get a funny feeling that it's more to it than just I should say just because it's not a just, but I think there's some things in addition to with the Cabo 6, Cabo 5. I think it's more to it in that it relates to that doctor. I don't know what, and so I don't want to, I don't want to misspeak or anything like that. Um, or I don't want to seem accusatory towards anyone, but I think that, and then in addition to that, how even with when you bring up the 911, like after he finished, he put up these diagrams of of how the whole CPR is done, and then he makes reference to how detrimental what he called it what did he say, lethal, how lethal it would be for someone to do these things and not know that like it was lethal. Like that was like I don't think that was like a translation thing because he even has the diagrams up about what she did, and then he talks about how lethal it would for her to give that type of emergency relief. Um, Although she didn't properly assess the situation. So I just like with that, like what was the why did you feel it was necessary to say that unless someone wanted you to, I guess they call themselves quote unquote, clearing the air, like whatever if she did do something, it was on which is the common theme for them is that if she did inflict any type of harm, it's because she was misled. Like they keep going back and back and back to that. Like, yo, what did she do? And what all happened that day? And again, I just have a lot of questions about it. I think we talked about it one time before, and I just have not fully digested that whole thing. And I think that in relation to that, that's what they're shielding her for. That's just the way my mind goes, and I just cannot get past it.
But yeah, that's the thing is that with the doctor, what you're speaking on is what I agree with earlier. And I'm saying that she is guilty of negligence, like medical malpractice. And that's why they fired her because she's guilty of that. And they know that they could get sued for her negligence. That's what's happening with the doctor. She is negligent in all of this. However, what we have to say is this, like she's negligent as far as it goes to getting there and not doing her own assessment of Shanquella's condition to determine her real diagnosis and not just was told to her. That's why she was let go for medical malpractice. However, since Shanquella's cause of death is atlas luxation, um we have to say who caused her to have atlas luxation, and that is the person that will be responsible for her death, or for femicide as they call it, by homicide, and are injuring her. So the doctor doing CPR did not cause her to have atlas luxation, right? So we've established that she did not cause the atlas luxation. So that means that she's not responsible for Shanquella's death in that regard. Now, is she responsible for worsening it? Yes. Is she responsible for not assessing her properly? Yes. Is she responsible for not like just listening to them and not immediately getting her medical like emergency attention when she realized that she needed it? Yes. All of that, all the things you're mentioning and that she's responsible for is called medical malpractice. She didn't do exactly what she was supposed to do as a medical professional. She was negligent. And of course, she's going to be shielded by American Medical Center because they know that the people are not going to sue her, the doctor. They're going to sue them, the deep pockets, which is American Medical Center. So this shield I think you're seeing is American Medical Center protecting their ass from being sued. The doctor is pretty much out there living her life because and the people that need to be able to contact her are in contact with her, such as the police, and they have her phone number information and contact details and address. So she's not someone that can be in hiding. But is she being shielded? I would say not really shielded, but people will say it's a shield because they're going to American Medical Center and they have their own agenda separate from the doctor. I mean, American Medical Center, they won't let her go because they don't care. I mean, she needs to get fired so we can avoid getting sued and they'll be off our back. So if you go to American Medical Center, you will feel like the doctor is being shielded, but you're forgetting that they have their own agenda for why they don't want to give her up or say anything about her. Is because they don't want to get sued. Think about it. If you go to McDonald's, you order something and something goes wrong, you're not going to sue the employee that made your sandwich wrong or did something to the sandwich. You're going to sue McDonald's themselves. So if you start calling McDonald's asking them questions, they will say, well, talk to the lawyer, talk to my lawyer, because they're not going to really tell you anything to incriminate themselves because you didn't know you're going to come out of their deep pockets. So I think that's what people are facing. But yeah, so if anyone can like tell me, like I said before, like, did the doctor cause Shanquella's like injury of atlas luxation, which she passed away from? If the answer is no, that means she's not responsible for the overall death. However, did she make the condition worse? Did she not do what she's supposed to do as a doctor? Then that would actually fall under civil and more like negligence.
I have a question.
Okay.
Based on the time that she was called and she got there, and almost immediately, Winter, I think, called 911. So my question would be, excuse me, did she have enough time to do anything additional, or did she transition quite quickly when she got there? I didn't think about that, but that's just a question for both of y'all. Think about the when we're talking like the time that she was called and she actually got there, the condition she was in when Nazira got there, which I really believe was she was just transitioning, she was just barely hanging on. And when the doctor got there, before she could really do too much, she rapidly started transitioning really fast. So, do you think that would be the same thing as negligent, or maybe she just didn't really have the time?
In my opinion, I think that she did have enough time to realize that when she got there that this was not alcohol poisoning, because and it only takes a few seconds for a doctor, even with like her experience of like maybe a year and a half, she should know like the signs of the like at least domestic violence. I mean, in Mexico they have high femicide rates, and I'm sure there's like of course domestic violence. So if you see injuries to someone's face and she noticed the knot on her forehead, those are all signs that she will pick up on as a doctor of something being different from what is being told to her, and it's her job
Right,
to assess.
right.
So
Well,
I believe
hold on
that.
1 minute, Danny.
Go
Hold on
ahead.
1 minute. Stay right there.
Okay.
And so think about everything you said in that statement. As a doctor, she would get there and she would see the bump on her head and not, and whatever. But she still don't see axis luxation. But could Shanquella begin to transition really quickly for for her to really make any kind of assessment, she went straight into life-saving mode. Just a question. When you think about everything, she couldn't diagnose atlas fixation. However, if she noticed a bump on her head and all of that, as she walking in and she's beginning to assess, that's her part of her assessment. I noticed the knot on her head, the bump on her lip. But during all this time, Shanquella began to do other things, her body, and she went into another mode of life saving. Could Is it possible that could have been the case as well? It's just a question. I'm trying to figure it all out. Just
I need to
another
actually look
thought.
at the. I need to actually pull it up again with the timeline. I personally believe that she did have enough time to question it when she questioned the knot on her head, like why did she have that? That's a time to me when she was doing her assessment, and I believe that she did have enough time to assume, or just like with Nazir, to have suspicions of something is off. That's why she questioned that knot. And I believe at that time she should have escalated at that point because things were not adding up.
Well, I think it was being escalated. I think Winter called 911, right? I'm just asking.
I need to put up a timeline again, but I'm thinking the doctor got there at 3:15. I think that she pronounced her um did she pronounce her dead at like 4:30 or something like that? I would have to go back and look. I think they said I think she lost her
She
she lost her
pronounced
pulse.
5:49.
right, right. But remember, guys, she pronounced her deceased after the life saving things that they were doing, that the paramedics was doing, and when they realized they couldn't bring her back, then she pronounced her. However, now you got to go back to the autopsy, which is the scientific part of it. And I think Cheryl, you brought up how they check the temperature of the liver and the position of the body during rigor mortis, which gave them
Mhm.
the estimated time of deceased between 3 and 3:15. But when she pronounced her, it was only after the paramedics were unable to bring her back. So that's what I'm saying when we are thinking about it, and as we talk through it and say, well, she should have did this, she should have did that. During her assessment of Shanquella, as she was assessing it, asking questions, could she immediately wouldn't go into cardiac arrest, and the doctor started life-saving measures, but she got no pulse. 911 was already on the way. They tried to do all of the other things, the shocking and all of that. And because they couldn't bring her back, then the doctor pronounced her. But that wasn't the original time. That's just when she pronounced her. I
Right.
think that's when it was going back to where it was saying that it's different when you pronounce somebody in the hospital, because usually the doctor, the nurse, or whoever is right there, and they can't save her, and then they pronounce her. So that's pretty much. But she wasn't there. But they went through almost an hour worth of life saving measures with her and couldn't bring her back. The doctor pronounced her then, but she actually transitioned prior to that.
Okay, well on here it's
Does that make
showing
sense to you guys?
yeah, I get what you're saying, but okay, so on here it's saying that it's pretty much saying before they got okay, let's look at this page. It says at 16:25, Blaine texted me and told me that the girl has to be hospitalized because after being evaluated, she has to be hospitalized, and that her friends were finding out they had insurance. To which I asked if she is in serious condition, and the doctor said no, but that she does need an IV. Now he said that Blaine texted me, but guess what? He goes on and gives. They didn't redact this part, but since they didn't redact this part, it actually shows who he was talking to was a doctor, because he says, to which I asked, because he's still talking to the same person, it's a continuation. To which I asked if she is in serious condition, and the doctor said no, but that she does not, but that she does need an IV, that she is practically unconscious, and that's why
Oh
she
yeah.
has to be hospitalized. So This is at
That
16.
killed it right there.
This is at 16:25. Right.
That's
Hours, and that's at
4:25.
4:25 p.m.
Yeah.
So in that case, if she arrived around maybe 3:15 p.m., at this time at 4:25, I would say about an hour later, she is now saying that this is when she needs hospitalization instead. Hospitalization, right? So she had an hour, and then at this time, Shanquella, she's saying that she needs to be in the hospital an hour later. So what was she doing in between that time frame? Okay, she pretty much made her assessment during that time period. Hey, now she needs to go. She needs emergency help. So to me, that's that hour period of time she should have been made. It didn't take that. It shouldn't take that long to realize somebody needs emergency help.
But besides
Yeah, I
that, though,
got you.
besides that, you have to be a real quack. If you decide you're in an emergency situation and somebody is transitioning, which you obviously can tell, that you're gonna pick up and text message somebody. Who does that? What doctor does that? And
But
then you
now
go
that goes back to when I said that concierge was texting that doctor.
right, but what is she? Is she's trying to administer emergency, for care to a patient? Besides the fact that you didn't see bruises all over her body and ignored the bump on the head and the split in the lip and the busted eye, right? And on top of that, now you're gonna hop on your cell phone and text somebody. It doesn't make sense. That's not what a
Yeah, you're
person.
right.
My thing is that, and people say, well, she's a new doctor, but before you become a doctor, she's a doctor for 2.5 years. Prior to that, she has they do four. I don't know if in Mexico if it's 3 years or 4 years of residency. So besides that, she had been dealing with patients for at least 3 to 4 years, whatever it is in Mexico. I don't know if it's the same thing as the United States. But besides all your medical, your schooling, then you go into residency for 4 years. So it's not as though you've only been working on patients for 2 years. So now you get to a situation like this. This person has bumps and bruises all over her body. And then you get there, and besides everything else you didn't do, you get on the phone and you're text messaging the concierge who's not even clinical personnel. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So like I said before, I don't think she's hiding because I think the people that need to be able to contact her can contact her, but I think that people are trying to actually reach her former to find her through a former employee, such as American Medical Center, who's trying to avoid a lawsuit. That's kind of going to get a more of a brick wall than a shield. However, you actually contact the police or Dane De La Rosa Naya, whoever gave them this document, then I'm sure they'll be more helpful. So you kind of have to be like, who are you going to try to get to the doctor? Are you going to somebody that's trying to avoid a lawsuit? Or are you actually going to somebody that's actually unbiased in this situation, right? And I have my
Right.
messages. I spoke to the people over the doctor and who actually ended up firing her, and they're trying to protect themselves. They're not really speaking. They're trying to avoid all of this and make it go away because they know they can be sued.
I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah,
I
I
just
agree
have
now. I didn't get that
strong
1425, but yeah, that was
hmm I just had strong reservations about that. And then why are you calling him versus somebody else? Like, do you calling him because you think you messed up? And, I would like to see those text messages. What are you calling him for? At this point, you need to be calling for more help. You need to, what are you calling him for? Well, exactly. So while you're doing that, what is he doing? Tell me, what is he doing? It's nothing for him to do, but you calling him? It just doesn't make sense unless you feel like you jammed up some kind of way.
Yeah, this whole thing goes into. I actually believe that Nazir was tricked into alcohol poisoning. I think the doctor I think she was sent out there thinking that she was going to have a routine visit. She probably came unequipped with all her equipment that she needed. She was thinking that she was going to have do an IV for someone that drank a little too much alcohol on vacation in Mexico. She got there and she was blindsided and didn't know like what she was stepping into, and it was a totally different situation from what she was called out there for or what she thought she was going there for. And yeah, so I do believe that she's also inexperienced, but all together, everything that adds up to her all boils down to medical malpractice, medical negligence. There's nothing really criminal about it because she was actually blindsided herself as to what she was being called out there for. But as a medical professional, not doing her proper assessment and evaluation, she actually did, it said, completed her evaluation at that 14, what is it, 1625 hours, which is 4:25 p.m. That at that time, she, after it says after her evaluation, she determined that she needed emergency help. To me, that should have already been established way before an hour later of her arrival. That's neither here nor there. So I believe the whole thing that people are suspicious of is that we all know that as a medical professional, she did not do her job. So since she didn't do her job, people now are holding her responsible in this whole situation. And I wouldn't say as far as causing her to have outlet luxation, because that's obviously a different injury. However, as far as neglect and worsening her, possibly worsening her condition, I think some injuries on her torso will actually cause from trying to revive her. But yeah, I remember they said that she lost her pulse, and then the doctor spent an additional hour trying to revive her. So yeah, she had lost her pulse about an hour or 45 minutes before she was actually pronounced deceased.
So then, Danny, the other thing then is and I hate to beat a dead horse. So then now it's 5:49, right? You pronounce her, her demise, and then there's still the police officers there, and that even though we don't see it, I'm imagining that she would have made some type of statement to the police officer, and by that time you spent those countless hours with her, and you're recognizing more and more as you go along, like the bruises and everything else, which you clearly made that reference to that to Nazir. And then when it's time for you to make the statement, I'm only assuming that she didn't make reference to everything else that she saw, or did she make reference and then they chose still not to hold them over for additional questioning? So what did she do that for? Like, regardless of what she came in there and she assumed, now she's in much worse shape, but you can't right then and there, like now she's in survival, like, to rescue mode, I should say. She's trying to rescue her. So right at that time, she can't say, oh, wait a minute, hold up. This is no, she gotta go into rescue mode. But when she's done, she still didn't implicate, or she didn't give, well, to right now, to my knowledge, maybe she did, maybe she didn't. I don't know how all of that went. But right now, either A, she gave a full, she gave a full story of what she saw, or B, she chose not to do it. When it's all said and done, either A, she said it and the police, just, downplayed it, or B, she never said anything. Why? Why did she not do that after it was over?
And that all goes again into, if she did not, all of that still goes into negligence, should I say. That, to me, it still goes into negligence on her part. She's still not going to be held responsible for anything other than her being medically negligent. I mean, like, it's kind of like if you go to a doctor and you go in there for assessment or evaluation, and they say they overlook something that they overlook something that they don't like help you with a certain condition, and then they can probably heal negligent, but it's still not going to be criminal because they didn't actually cause. If you pass away, if they didn't actually cause your cause of death, then they're not going to be held responsible for your cause of death, but they can be held negligent and not assisting you with that cause of death, should I say.
Right, because she also be part of the aiding and abetting, because she aided. If she didn't, if she didn't say anything about all the other assessments that she saw, like, like even her pelvis, like you're telling me when she does the assessment of her symptoms, like going through, like she didn't notice there was something off about the pelvis or something tender. I don't know how much of a reaction Shanquella could have got, but still, when you're feeling like, doctors say feel all around, and they feel in, to make sure they can feel your organs. Like they did a whole review of symptoms. I mean, a system. Sorry, I'm saying symptoms. A review of systems. And you telling me you did all of this and you didn't, you know, well, I'm not saying she did or she didn't, but at the end of the day, even if she didn't review the systems, she still saw those bruises all over her body. And and then when it's all said and done, you don't have a statement to make to the police, the raise the eyebrow, to say, hey, look, you need to question these people because one of them is a criminal. Like you said, nothing. And for what reason did you not say anything? Like, you don't even know these people. So you as a doctor, you see all these bruises all over this girl, and you're gonna not even, tip off the police that they need to, talk more to these people. Nah, she should. She's got to be. She's got to give us some aiding and abetting than that. Seriously, whether it was
Yeah.
intentional or non-intentional, she's gonna walk away with that. I think.
So so my question is, who decision was it to begin to treat it as a crime scene? Like, how did they make that determination? From what? From what? I'm wondering.
Well, in Zuniga's, well, sorry, in the Mexican journalist thing, they said that he called up to they said he called up to the Ministry of whatever, and even though they bleeped it out, if you listen real slowly, he said to secure the area as, it sounded like as if it was a crime scene, but it was bleeped out. That's why it would be good to get somebody that speaks Spanish to translate what he said, because when the translation came through, it kind of like it was like not bleeped out, but it was interrupted. So I don't know. I don't know how they wound up doing that.
To be honest, I actually
So
need to watch
yeah.
that video. I think I skipped that one because I think I was doing something else at the time. I need to actually watch that video of his.
Yeah,
So I'm
actually.
wondering whose decision was that to treat it as a crime scene? Like, what information were they going off of?
I do remember hearing something about and I actually was planning on following that lead. Remember, I don't know if y'all remember, but I found an article that discussed like a crime scene investigation agency that that's like contracted, all right, or something. I can't remember the name of the place, but I
Mhm.
can't. I said I was gonna follow up on that and see, like, reach out to them or see something, but I never got around to it. But yeah, I remember that now. That so to me, I believe that I don't know. This is something that someone will have to, an expert will have to probably answer. I will have to look into. But in my opinion, I think that most things that happen or certain incidents that they probably need to like examine the crime scene or even examine this, even if they don't think it's criminal, to examine it. I mean, because you never know what could happen in the outcome, and you still need evidence of the scene. So I don't know, like I'm not familiar. Like, do a lot of times when something happens, do people actually go there and just like as a routine to examine the crime scene? I mean, why not? Because you never know. Like someone, like for I guess when people have someone pass away, and when someone goes out, do they actually have police there and examine the crime scene, or even if it's just accidental or natural death, do they actually do any examinations of the scene? Y'all know?
I
Well,
thought
the
that
police,
when
whenever I thought whenever there was an ambulance call, the police always goes as well.
Yeah,
I
but
thought.
after the fact, I thought the forensics people come. Now, I don't know what they do in Mexico, but I thought that once it's declared a crime scene, then the forensics people come and they start gathering, evidence like, blood, fingerprints, all of these different things. They do top to bottom. So again, like, yo, I just feel like if she would have been, and I'm not saying that she didn't. Maybe she did, and they didn't listen to her. But somewhere along the lines, if it could have just been gone a totally different way, if just one of them would have acted, in the capacity of their profession, and everybody wouldn't have made it back here. Like somebody did, they just didn't. They, and I don't think that they, and again, I just don't think they just generally did it. There's a reason why they didn't do it the right way. You just don't generally, you know, even with the police, you're a police officer. You see this lady with all these bruises and everything else. You're a medic. You see all of this stuff. It's, from what they're saying, like, she had a busted eye, all this other stuff, bruises all over. And the medic missed it. The doctor missed it. The police missed it. And then they let them all
Right.
go home. No, I just can't digest that three professionals missed all of
Right.
this and let them go home. That just makes me
So do
so
you think
angry.
that's why? Do you think that's why Sue Ann Robinson originally went there in November?
Did she go in November? I didn't know that she went down there in November.
Yes. Nobody knew, but she did. So I'm wondering if maybe something Nazir said that's why because she originally went in November, but she didn't visit. She didn't do all of what she did. I think she went to look at the crime scene
I thought that because I saw that
because
I saw
go ahead, Chanel.
no, I'm sorry.
Sure, I mean,
No, I was
Shell.
so yeah. I just saw her in the bedroom and her, if I thought that was when she went 2, 3 weeks ago. I didn't know she went the other because I saw like
Uh-uh. She
something
went
on
in
the news.
November,
Oh, okay.
but she wasn't.
Well,
She didn't do everything that she did. You know, when she went the last time, like visit all the places. She went
right.
to that villa.
Yeah, I know she also went this last past time too. She did because I saw that on the news with her like at the bedroom, doing assessing the different things in the room and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Yeah, I did see
Yeah, I don't
that.
think I think it was kind of on the hush hush the first time she went.
I think she went like early December. I can pull up the
Or was it
video and when
December?
they discussed it, I think it was early December, but it still would be kind of like late, like around the same time frame. But I think it was early December. Let me pull up the video in just a second. Um,
Okay, thanks, Daddy.
wait 1 second.
Thank you,
Okay,
Danny.
it says here.
You to another episode of Girl, Is That Legal? Today, we're going to be talking with attorney Sue Ann Robinson. Attorney Sue Ann is the legal advocate for the family of Shanquella Robinson. And she is literally fresh off the plane from Mexico, where, of course, she was working on their case. And she's going to speak with us, answer a few questions. And we're going to be able to find out straight from the source what's really going on and how we can support the family. So I'm going to run the countdown to give everyone a chance to join.
Okay, as you said, as you can see, she said she was fresh off the plane from Mexico, and this video was dated December 8th, 2022. That's why I'm thinking that she went like in December, like beginning of December.
Thanks. I didn't even realize that until you just played it again. So yeah, so that was a second trip.
And you
Okay,
notice
go
that
ahead,
she
Tina.
didn't refer to her as an attorney then. She said an advocate.
Right, right.
On the video title, she puts interview with Shanquella Robinson's family's attorney, Sue Ann Robinson, straight from the source. Let me go back up. Wait 1 second. It said, oh yeah, it says advocate for the family. Well, sometimes people call that, but it says Sue Ann is the legal advocate. So she didn't say just advocate, she said legal advocate for the family of Shanquella Robinson. And yeah, so and then let's see, it says a reason for a flight. I think a lot of people got confused. Okay, wait 1 second. Making sure. Yeah, so she went like at the beginning of December, I would say. But she said fresh off the plane, so it looks like she just had came back.
That could be a metaphor. Yeah,
But
that
is
could be
it
a
that
metaphor.
right? But is it that when they're in the criminal investigation part, they're the legal advocate, and then when they get to the civil, they become the actual they work in the capacity of the lawyer. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know if I'm right.
I just know she did title a bit. She did title it the video right here. I can remove this comment for a second, but she did title it as the lawyer for Shanquella's family. Right here it says interview with Shanquella Robinson's family attorney, Sue Ann Robinson. So she said that their attorney.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like she's the attorney, but like while they're in the criminal part, is she'll say just, but is she the advocate doing the criminal part, and then she goes into her legal action once she gets to the civil?
I don't. That's a good question. I think that she actually answered this before, that they actually have like I would say contracts, but they actually have associations or affiliations of people that can handle the criminal aspects of things. You know what I mean? So I think that I don't think like Ben Crump, it has done a lot of things with criminal cases, right? And he's a civil attorney. However, I do believe he's well connected and he will have people that can handle the criminal aspects of things as they go along with the process. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think I heard that from somewhere, and that's where I got it from. I can't remember, to be honest, where, but I do know that he has resources and he has like people that do deal with different things.
Right. So like let's go back to the OJ trial. What was her name? Madeleine Albright. Like she was the representative of the Browns, but then but she didn't like make an appearance in court. I don't remember it. She could have. But then when it was time for civil, that's when she came to the forefront. If we think about that, like maybe is that the same scenario? Like they're out there, because even with Albright, she was advocating for the family, but she didn't make it a court appearance, but until it was time for the civil. But all along, she was totally involved. Could we look at it that way?
I would say that this law firm with Ben Crump and Sue Ann Robinson that they have on staff are people that handles the criminal aspect for them. And as far as civil, then that's when they will, of course, dive into it and handle the civil aspect. But I do believe they do have people that help with the criminal part. Yeah, so pretty much she's not going to be helping with anything with the criminal part. Just pretty much, yeah, like their advocate or their spokesperson, pretty much. But and going through the process, even like when there is they need somebody criminal to handle it, then it will be someone contracted through them, they'll still have their hands in it. And definitely they are here for civil, so they do see ways that they can sue people in this, possibly cobblebills.com, which is the full service, and then also there is the American Medical Center. So they definitely see the civil end of it, to where they can make lawsuits out here. And also to any of the families out here, like anyone in the Cabo, 5 or 6, depending on how they can sue. Because even I add 6, because even though Nazir might not be, as we can say, criminally or even medically negligent, they can still sue him? Yes, a case can still be argued, but they can still try to sue him for that. But due to the Good Samaritan law and other things, it might not stand, or it might not like work or actually be successful. But can they make an attempt? Yeah. I mean, anybody can sue you. That doesn't mean that they'll win.
Yeah, I agree with that too, Dan.
So he would basically get sued just because he was there?
They can argue, to be honest, like the Good Samaritan law will actually protect him in this. But could someone possibly argue for negligence on his part or sue? Yeah, I mean, because to be honest, he was kind of set up. And the reason I say he was set up is because he had just arrived. You could see him in a car and he's like excited about the trip, but you could tell he has no idea what he's about to walk into. I mean, like, you want to be in any kind of vibe like that if you actually thought you were walking into like a murder or something like this, or brutal attack had occurred, right? So him getting there, and they immediately put all the responsibilities of Shanquella onto him, and then he's the last person seen with Shanquella before the doctor arrives. He's the one helping the doctor with the CPR, being left with Shanquella. So to be honest, that is kind of setting him up to say, and then they know that she has things are happening with her, and they're not saying anything to him about it. And then he moves her body from the game room couch to the living room, and moving somebody with outward luxation is not a good thing to do, because the people will argue, as medical professionals will argue, that her neck needed to be stabilized and not be moved. So him moving her is not a good look, right? And people will mention that. So altogether, could they try to sue him for negligence or some part? Yes, but would it actually be successful due to Good Samaritan law? Probably not, but it's possible. I mean,
Yeah, I
they
agree
can
with
actually
that.
say that. They can actually say um, that who knows that she might have worsened her condition. And then the doctor got there by the time, since he moved her, worsened her condition, so she could have survived. She could have survived if he had not moved her, and that could be argued because doctors will say that stabilizing the neck and not moving the person is a great idea when it comes to alloxation. But he could be argued Good Samaritan, like, hey, I was just trying to be helpful. I had no idea of her condition. I actually was told alcohol poison. That's what I was trying to make her comfortable for. So yeah, but they could still sue her. I mean him, but it doesn't mean it'll be successful. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I agree with that. Except for if in from what as far as what the facts are today, you know, is that he didn't, even though it could have made it worse at that time, he didn't know he was making it worse. Like it was no intent on doing that. He was just like the doctor says, she says she didn't know, like me, as what the facts are today, because we haven't heard from anybody else that he didn't know. So if he didn't know, he plain just didn't know. He didn't know. And then the other thing is that as far as right now, that's another point too, is that, they say that the friends asked for her to be treated there versus going to the hospital. But the friends could have been one, two, three, four, five, or six people. We don't know. Friends just means more than one. It doesn't mean all six of them decline. So even with that, somebody or somebody's declined her, being transported to the hospital. So as far as so as what the statement goes. But was it all six of them that said no, or was it a select few? We don't know.
Yeah, we definitely don't know who are the client. That's why I really don't like. Even when the concierge said he left out of the room and he heard laughter, we don't know who all was laughing, so we can't group everyone together. And this is a good point that Sheila makes right here. She says, I think that's why they called for the doctor. They knew Nazir was on the way. He will have questions. Yeah, that's actually a good
Me
point,
too.
Sheila, because you know what? They've been knew about her condition, and they probably knew that when Nazir got there, he would be like, is a doctor coming, or is she arriving, or what's happening? So I think that they rushed to try to hurry up and call when they knew he was like coming on his way. Right. Didn't he say
Well,
something
look at
about
when Deja texted the doctor. Well, she texted the concierge at 1:50. What time did Nazir land?
12:19.
It was to me, it was very strategic.
Mm-hmm.
He landed. They knew how long it would take him to get there. Then Designate sent the text at 1:50. The doctor called the concierge called the doctor too, and Nazir came. Bam! Shortly after, here come the doctor. I think they very strategically planned that out.
Right. And before this statement came out, I could say that I initially thought that like Khalil was like the one, running things, but it sounds like Dejanay was the one. Even, not only was she the
That
attacker,
was
but then
running.
she's the one, you know,
That was running it.
orchestrating everything. It's
It's
just like she's
interesting,
a horrible
Danny.
person.
yes?
I just said it's interesting, right? That she was running everything.
Yeah, it definitely is. But now that I think about it, it actually makes perfect sense. I mean, it's one thing to go along with the plan, and it's another to be the one that actually like
Carries it
implements it
out.
or something, right? Yeah. And the reason I say that is because they might, like, she could say, like, I'm going to jail because I brutally attacked her and I'm going to jail in Mexico, and I need to like get the doctor, but I don't need to tell them I brutally attacked her because then I'm going to jail just for brutally attacking her, right? So they can like,
Right.
okay, well, get a doctor, but we just won't say that you brutally attacked her. And then, but they're not gonna put their neck on the line and be the one that texts the concierge and tells that lie that it's alcohol poisoning. So they'll say, well, I guess shoot, you have to do it. I mean, you're the one that did it, so you have to be the one to actually make the text the concierge. But we can also say concierge. We can also say that she's also the head person in charge. So then that's probably why she texts. But to me, I think she wanted to maintain control over the whole thing because she knew she was going to jail if it was ever spoken to the concierge or anybody that she brutally attacked and quote, she was going to jail just for that, for violence. Or should I say aggravated battery, aggravated assault and battery.
I agree.
So
I
basically,
agree.
so basically, she had to control the whole narrative.
Right. Right. Right.
And I mean, like if she had called the concierge and said, Shank, I just brutally attacked Shanquella. She has a busted eye, knot on her forehead, busted lip, bruised up face. She's also unresponsive right now. The concierge would have said, "Oh, we need the police. We need like the security in the area. We right there. We definitely need emergency help." So she had told the truth, and then the police would have came out. They would have arrested her man, hand, ass, and then took her to jail immediately. And then, so I mean, she had to actually control the situation because she knew she was going to jail. And to me, I guess the best situation for her would be to get Shanquella help and also avoid going to jail. So that's why she said alcohol poisoning, but she still need to get her help. And Sheila brings up a good point. Why did they wait so long, and why did they decide at that time frame, like close to Nazir arriving, to actually reach out for help? You know,
Right.
Yeah, they
I
set
agree.
they set it up that way.
And that's probably why his mom says that he was set up. When she spoke out, she said, although I thought it was kind of like, I don't know, maybe she agreed to it, but I get the impression that she didn't. Whoever put that text message out, you know, we probably could have got a lot more out of his mother had they not done it that way, you know. But they put it out there, the text message, whether it's, I, I don't know if it was ever authenticated or not, but they're saying that, she said my son was set up.
I believe so because I mean, everyone knows in any crime scene or any investigation, crime, murder or investigation, or something happens to somebody, people are always asking this one question: who was the last person they were seen with? Who was the last person they were seen with? And in this case, it's actually Nazir. And to be honest, he has taken all the heat and all the backlash for being the last one with Shanquella and what he could possibly. It has been all kind of things stated of what he could possibly have done with Shanquella since he was the last one with her, and then having that up in the air is actually the reason for like the investigation and everything else, because since that he said that she was unresponsive when he got there, that means she was still alive, right? So then people will say, well, could he have done something that caused her death because he was the last one? So I mean, it's a lot of things that go into it ultimately. And yeah, so it's not really good for him to be in that spot. So that I do believe in the setup portion of that. And now that Sheila mentions it, is actually a good point because they only called around, I mean, texted the concierge around 1:50 to 1:52 p.m. to get help for Shanquella, right? And that's right before his arrival. So that's very suspicious.
Yeah, I agree. And then even with that, they still called after his plane you know, arrived. Like, so it's not even as though they even tried to call before 12:19. They called around the time they thought that he would be coming.
But then that leads to the question, why set Nazir up?
I don't know. Maybe they just wanted to, just get the attention off of themselves. So they put on somebody that doesn't know much. Like if they say, okay, if they put somebody else in the forefront, those would be people that were there the whole time. But then here you're gonna put somebody that's really oblivious. You're gonna put him in the forefront because it's not but so much he can say.
I think that once that they knew Shanquella's condition, they actually pretty much were like avoidance. It's kind of like if you already know that someone is in pain or in agony and it's something that you have knowledge of why are you actually inflicted that harm, you're not gonna want to be around that person. I mean, it's kind of awkward to be around that person, especially based on Nazir that she was still her eyeballs were still darting around and that she was just unresponsive, like she couldn't speak, whatever. So I really don't think they wanted to be around her body. And even like in cases of like serial killers or even like some murders, they actually will like sometimes cover up the face of the person so they can avoid like seeing the person like face,
Looking at him.
and things like that. Yeah. So I really don't think they wanted to be around her at all. So having Nazir there, they can actually like not even be around her and it'll be kind of awkward. But I think it was like oh, let's set him up. Well, for Dejanay, I believe that she probably will have it in her mind that, but I think some of them just wanted to be just away from her body, period. And maybe it was, I don't think it was like at a conscious level, should I say, but maybe subconsciously they wanted it. But it's still to me the same. Like even subconsciously, like, hey, well, let Nazir be the one to answer the questions or be the one to handle this or take over from here, and then we can remain silent and not like incriminate ourselves.
I just think in this situation, like Nazir was just he's just like everything. Like Nazir is so everything. Like there's no um there's no point of responsibility put on anybody else except for him. Like you know what about everybody else? Like, I would just say like now, like it's like Nazir should have did this. Nazir should have like. Is it because he's the only one speaking that is saying that he should have done all these things? Like he's on his knees, giving CPR. You know, I just am like while he's doing this, what is everybody else doing? This is what I want to know. Like, what is everybody else supposed to be doing since he's supposed to be the one that stayed behind where everybody went home? He's supposed to stay. Nazir should have stayed. Nazir should have this. Like, everything is Nazir, Nazir, Nazir. And it's like, what? It's like I feel like that there's more inference these days on him than Dejanay. Like she's the one who, that we see in the video. Is she the only one that beat her? I don't believe so. I believe that there were more than it was more than just her. But I really want to see more inference and more information about that fight and all of the people that were there during that fight. I don't believe he was there. So the unfortunate part is too is that maybe there's a bigger inference on Nazir because he's the only one talking. So maybe they're fishing to see if they could get more out of him. You know, could that be it? Because there's no way that somebody could humanly think that out of six people and everything going on, that Nazir is supposed to be in every single area. Like he's supposed to be, he's, was he the one laughing? We don't know. But he's in that, you know, why didn't he stay? We don't know, but he should have been the one stayed. he should have done this. Like he should like everything is Nazir, Nazir, Nazir. What about everybody else?
I think that there's a lot of anger and outrage because there's no justice as far as there's some street justice, but not as far as criminal justice of someone being arrested. And we wanted to take our anger out. When I say we, I mean just anyone that fits into this. Well, I wouldn't say we. I said some people want to take their anger out on someone or frustrations out on someone. I mean, he's the only one speaking and the only one saying anything. So who better to out of the couple? Because everybody else, no one else is going to respond. You're not going to get any reaction. But Nazir, you can get a reaction or possible something from him, right? So at that point, now you have someone that you can get some kind of response or reaction from, or at least you hoping you will get some. It's more of a chance, or you will get a response from him than any of the others. And that also brings up another point: is that for him to be still active on social media and be more out here and not really hiding his social pages and everything else, it makes him that's different from everybody else hiding completely, like hiding out their social media and everything. And another point is that now that most of us who have it like go along with some of the receipts that I even posted and others of him not being there during a brutal attack, right? You would think that that will actually lead to, I guess, less anger towards him, right? But not, it's not so well. It actually has led to some people like less anger towards him as far as like being there with the brutal attack, but not all the way. Because even like GJ, the blogger, is still on that Nazir was there, right? So I mean, you actually think that, I don't know. I just think that if it's kind of odd for him to still be out here, like out and about, and the others hiding, so that kind of makes him like sets him apart as well. It doesn't really make sense for him to be out. What makes him different from the others that are hiding?
Not right. That's what I'm saying. If you look at the big picture, and at the end of the day as well, like even with his plea of innocence, um, you think about it, he still knows that he's under federal investigation. So why would you know? I mean, and come on, if someone is invested under investigation by the feds, what would make you go, publicly, show that you weren't there with a picture or a video? Like that would further incriminate you with the federal government. So that's I'm like, who in their right mind would throw out a false video to prove what day they was there, when they actually was there a different day? Like if you under investigation, that would further incriminate you. It's like he's not that stupid. Like, I mean, I don't think anybody would be that stupid. But still, it's like, no, that wasn't, that I don't care what the video, he was lying on the video. No, it goes deeper than just giving it to, you're a blogger or, or investigative journalist. Like that is deeper than that. It's not just that you gave it to someone. It's also further incriminating yourself if you're not telling the truth. And I don't see I don't see him doing that. I don't see anybody doing something that silly. You know, I don't. That's another reason besides everything else that I do believe that, that video seals the deal for me. That he didn't get there till the 29th, because nobody's that silly to give, to give up something like that and say to prove that they were the 29th and they really came the 28th. He's not that stupid. He's not.
Okay, for Ronald, I think that someone already answered your question on the panel, but Ronald says he said no to hospital is he's full of shit. Where was he when they left her and fled? So we don't know who all said no to the hospital. We don't know like the consensus of the room. So until we actually have confirmation, we don't know who all said what. Now, and also someone mentioned, why did he go eat dinner? What comment was that? Wait a second. Hey Linda, welcome to the panel. So I think someone said something about why would he wait, hold on. I think it was Belford says, hi Danny, I'm curious what he thought about when he did The Great Escape. So Lord just said The Great Escape. Or he's, I don't know, Belford Marshall. Okay. My bad if I mess up on the pronoun. Didn't it seem odd to him that they left versus going to dinner? Yeah, that is an interesting twist of things. What I can say about Nazir, now get this now, I want to make this clear. I cannot speak for Nazir because he does not answer all of my questions. Most of his responses are the truth will come out, just be patient. Truth will come out, just be patient. It's conspiracy theories will be proven wrong. That's mostly his statements. It's not like he's just like an open book and like telling me everything. I mean, this is an investigation. To be honest, I don't want to be wrapped up in too much because I'm not trying to be a part of like any investigation or of this whole thing. So if I'm sure he has already told all the information to the FBI, but if he tells me anything that he has not told the FBI, then that would put me into this mess, child. So let's see. Pretty much. Let me go over your question. Says, didn't he? It seemed odd to him to be left. What I do know about Nazir, so I'm sticking to what has been put out, is that he actually got tickets from some sort of employee vacation pass. So I really don't think that he paid for his tickets in that way. He might have paid like someone like a little piece, like a little, like a little something for them to give like their employee pass to get that flight out there. I don't know how that all worked out. And then, of course, I'm assuming that he also returned doing that same method. They said like, "Hey, well, I'll get you out there and back." So to me, that is someone that is needing financial help or financial assistance on the trip, right? So I don't really see him being able to stay in Cabo for an extended period of time. Or I think that he actually just flew out there on like an employee pass, and he was supposed to like chill with the friends there. And he was like, think about it, it's like a wasn't like 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, right? So then that means that I don't really think that he was initially a part of the trip or something. And he took an employee pass to go out there, like to kick it with everybody, right? And so I don't really think that he would have the financial means to actually stick around for a extended period of time and also get his own place. And you know what I mean? I don't think he could actually afford like to go outside of what was already supposed to be set up. So in that way, we would have to get that answer if he would be able to get his own place without them, like without their assistance or help to go stay somewhere else. You know what I mean? Yeah, so we don't know. And as far as eating, I would say that most people will, even when something is going on, most people will still eat. Now, as far as him leaving and not like coming back to help like find Shanquella, now people are saying that he spoke with the family, but to be honest, a lot has been going on. I have so much information, like information overload. I need to actually go back and listen to things like about speaking with family and who said this and that, because things are like mixed up into my head right now. So I really won't be able to answer that, because if he did reach out to the family and spoke to the family, I need to actually rewatch that video so someone can link it to me or just refresh my memory on that. Then I need to go revisit before I can state my opinion.
If you look at that one video with the one the one that everybody has seen when he did it by himself, I gotta re-listen to it, but one more time. But I re-listened to it today for some reason. But he said I talked to Quilla and Miss Robinson. I thought that's what he said even in that video. That he said he talked to Quilla and Miss Robinson.
And because it's been determined that her remains left the villa between 8 and 8:30, I don't know the exact time. They were all there, and since Khalil was the best friend, don't you think he would have asked them where they were taking her?
You would think
Because I
so,
think
but
we're
I
all
think
still under the assumption that she was there till 1:30 in the morning, but she wasn't.
Right. And what about that? Like, I don't know how it happens in Mexico, but like, even though, okay, the friend was there, but shouldn't someone have formally contacted the family to say your loved one is, has, you know, is deceased, and then give them further information about the rest of it? Like, what about the police normally here, in the United States, that's what they do. Like, why didn't anybody, on the more professional level, connect, with the mom who was on the phone at that time, whether it was translation needed or not? The guy said he was translating everything. you know like, did they no one say, okay, this is what we're going to be doing, this is the number you need? Or, maybe would mom ask, okay, I don't necessarily know if she would have wanted to see her, but like, if even if she didn't want to see her, you know, via, phone or whatever the case may be, but still, like, would she be able to talk to somebody to say, okay, what are you sending my daughter? Like, how can I, XYZ? Like, how did that go? That seems weird to me. That nobody talked to mom, after the occurrence. Like, no one gave her anything. They just said she's deceased, okay, goodbye.
Hey, Shell. So what y'all
Linda.
saying? Hi, everybody on the panel.
Hey.
Danny. Um. So what y'all saying now? The police report is wrong.
Right.
You talking about the time?
In the packet that Sue and them presented, I think it's in the medical examiner's report, stated that she came to the table at either, what was it, 8:30 or 8:30 or 8:40 p.m. So she was not in the villa till 1:30 in the morning on the floor.
So none of the stuff in the police report is credible.
I'm just going by what the attorneys presented. That's probably more accurate. But the medical
And I
examiner states that she got there at 8:30 in the evening.
and I
When
could be
they
wrong, but
left to go to dinner, when the concierge said that Dejanay texted for a car to take them to dinner around 9, Shanquella was no longer at that villa. So any one of them could have asked where they were taking her. Not just Nazir. There was Khalil, the best friend, Dejanay, Winter, Elise, the upset one. Anybody could have asked where they were taking her. Why was that on Nazir?
Well, I'm gonna tell you my opinion. These both reports is a smoke screen. If you look at that report where he talking about the sunlight on the bed, these people they use Geraldo too to listen to what is going on in these chats. This stuff, some of this stuff they got in these reports is what we've been saying on different blogs. And another thing, Nazir, right? He was caught up, but Nazir had 3 more clues in his video. If you want to check it, write these questions down. Why would he said something about why would I want to get stuck in Mexico? Another statement he made was he said something about 2,000 miles from home. I think he said 2,000 miles away from rules and safety. The third statement he made, he said, we on somebody else's stomping grounds. Why another, and the fourth statement he made was why another man's country, another man's place. What man was he talking about?
Good point, Linda.
He
Good
was
point.
talking about the owner of that villa.
Yeah.
Nazir was scared. Nazir was scared. If y'all would look up and study how many Americans died in Mexico from alcohol poisoning, this is where the cover up is. Nobody want to believe. Some people believe and understand. Shanquella was already deceased when Nazir got there, when that doctor got there. If she had a internal decapitation, they didn't brace her neck after they got through fighting her. They didn't brace her neck. They moved her. They dressed her. She could not live. They moved her about 3 times. Now the other thing, when that doctor come in, and Nazir said he was pulling up by 217. Yes, they set him up, throw him into it. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't try to put it on him. But the only thing gonna save him is that video. Yes, he's guilty of going along with the plan, but Nazir was scared. Nazir didn't want to get locked up over there in Mexico. But what he should have did was not went along with the plan, got locked up, and then the United States would have sent somebody over there to check on him and find out what happened. That way they wouldn't be looking for Dejanay and Malik, Kalia, and all of them now, because they would be over there in Mexico locked up. But what it was, this nurse, nobody don't want to believe it. Like I said, you look up Mexico and look at the warnings, the police over there is crooked, the doctor's crooked. There's some crooked stuff that goes on in Mexico. You see all this stuff now where they're kidnapping Americans for money. It's money, money, money in Mexico. This doctor was exactly what me and Ida Storm said. She was sent there where she didn't know it was bad, because I don't even believe them when they said that they called and said that their friend had alcohol poisoning. That police report, the first thing they said was that they called and said that Shanquella had drank too much. How many young people gonna call somewhere and say their friend got alcohol poisoning, need to be checked? They would say, my friend got drunk, she drank too much last night, she's not feeling well, we need somebody to come check her out. This doctor took an hour to get there. Nazir got there 217. Doctor get there 315. After that call, that's about an hour after the call. So she was thinking it was a non-emergency too. But when she got there, uh, Shanquella dead. I mean, I hate to say she's deceased. So she probably told them kids, I call them kids because they old enough, I got grandkids their age. She told those kids, she's dead. I don't know what y'all did. She been beat up or something. But if we send her to the hospital, all of you gonna go to jail. She said, probably said, you give me this amount of money, we can make this go away. Which they probably called that villa owner too. And he said, take care of it, get them out of my hotel, get them out of my resort. That's what they do in Mexico. If you go to the hospital and they hold you in a hospital for hostage for money, imagine what they do. This villa has a dark side. That's not the first murder. I mean, the first M in that resort. If you studied deaths and stuff like that in Mexico, you'll be surprised how many Americans that have died over in Mexico, and it was called alcohol poisoning. But these questions he asked that Nazir was saying, he was talking about that hotel owner. Nazir was scared. I don't know about the rest of them. They were just ready to try to get out of what they had did, and that was that way. Nowhere in the world, police, like you said, a police officer, doctor, these professionals gonna come and just let you walk off in a situation like this. And Mexico, the authorities know this, and they're trying to help cover it up because that doctor is guilty of extortion. These Mexican authorities know what goes on in Mexico. That's why I say y'all got upset with Lizzo the other night when she said Mexico don't play by the rules. Mexico, there is no rules. You either go along with the program they got over there, or either you'll be found somewhere cold. They probably told those kids, don't say anything. We got connects in the United States, which, yeah, they got people over here too that do little stuff. Those kids were scared. Now, I believe they have told the FBI the whole story. And I know the FBI gotta know. And this is kind of what's taking too long too. They're not gonna send no kids back over there and be in danger. Yeah, they're gonna try to get it where they'll be here in the United States and be tried. And I believe Nazir have told everything now. And like I said, I don't I know he's probably gonna be guilty of going along with it, but he was scared. He didn't want to be stuck in Mexico. But if y'all would do me that favor, just research the deaths in Mexico, American deaths. Then you'll understand the crooked stuff that goes on, the corruption. Yeah, this the United States. We have a little more morals than they do in Mexico. It's just money over there. They don't play by the rules in Mexico. Look at the 4 people that went over there, the 4 Americans. They'll do anything over there for money. Look at the American lady that's missing, the white lady. The 3 women from Texas, the 3 Americans. Mexico do not play by the rules. And I digress.
Now, welcome to the channel. I mean, the panel, Chaotic Truth. I think that we don't really have evidence or proof that the doctor was given any money besides what was requested or told or ahead of time by Dejanae. And we have to remember that when the doctor arrived, the main person she was in contact with was Nazir, right? So if the main person she was in contact with was Nazir, who assisted with CPR, Nazir will actually be able to hear them have discussions of, hey, let's pay to cover this up. It's more than alcohol poisoning. Someone have their device on. Press mute, and while other, please press mute.
That was my other phone.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think that Nazir would have then been informed of it was a brutal attack, and I really don't think that I don't really think a conversation like that was had with the doctor and the rest, because then everybody there will have knowledge, including Nazir, that a brutal attack occurred and this is what's happening. We're paying these people off, and I really think that Nazir was a part of covering that up, as far as saying, we're paying this doctor to cover up this crime of brutally attacking Shanquella. And that would actually implement him more, or incriminate him more with that, right? So you're saying that Nazir was participating in the cover up with the doctor and paying the doctor off because he was there with the doctor at that time.
And I'm not saying that he agreed. I think he was there and he just went along with it by him just getting there. He really didn't know everything that had happened. But in order for he knew that for him to get back to the United States, that he had to stay quiet and go along with the program. And I really, the only thing that changed my mind if the United States, if we get a autopsy from an American doctor, and that's the only way I'll change my mind. If they could prove otherwise that Shanquella was alive when the doctor and Nazir got there, but the only way I believe that is if it comes from a medical expert medical examiner. It's
Okay,
just my
well,
opinion that
go ahead.
it's just my opinion that that's the way it went down. And like I said, I believe Nazir have told the FBI all of this. I just believe from the little hints that he gave in his that video, and and the way things are in Mexico, and the way that Mexico trying to cover up everything and stuff don't not making sense. I don't think it could be anything else. And I just got to stand on that until the United States give me something different. I'm not trying to change anybody else's mind now, but this is what I stand on.
Okay, well, going with your narrative of the doctor covering up, that means that at some point they would have to go tell the doctor that when they told the doctor that they brutally attacked her, and then the doctor said, oh, "Okay, well, you brutally attacked her, so now we need to what?" The doctor actually said that she insisted that they should get emergency help, and I think that someone was trying to cover up a crime or assisting in cover up. She wouldn't say that, hey, I told them, like she's separating herself from the Cabo 5 or 6 or whoever you want to include in this. She's separating herself by saying, hey, she needs emergency help. And then she also texts the concierge and says, hey, I told them that she needs emergency help and they're trying to see about insurance on this. So she's looking to me like she's trying to arrange help for Shanquella and get her help. And someone trying to go with the cover up, I don't think they actually would be as involved in trying to get emergency assistance. And then, of course, Winter finally called 911. So I really don't see the doctor as risking her. She's a new doctor of like 2 years of education, like just fresh out of like medical school of 2 years. And if anyone like has been to school for an extended period of time, you're not really going to risk your educational attainment, like your all your time you spend in school. Like, oh my gosh, all those papers and just research and everything you have to do to reach that level. You're not going to risk that for a few bucks. And I mean, a few bucks, I mean, it's not going to be enough money to your whole career, like to be just ruined and you just got out. So I really don't see the doctor going along with any kind of cover up. However, I do see her doing things to try to cover her own ass, as far as when questioned, she would just say certain things to cover her ass, and also American Medical Center, but not as far as helping those the strangers to get away with a crime. I do believe that she is guilty of medical malpractice and negligence, but not anything pretty much criminal, because she was actually making attempts and efforts to get her help and to push for them to get emergency assistance. And when you're actually trying to, the best way to cover up a crime, to be honest, is for a person to be deceased or pass away. That way that person can no longer speak for themselves or speak out against you. And the doctor actually was trying to save her or persist that she get emergency assistance. I'm chaotic. Did you have something to add? Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to be long. I don't know the intricacies of the story other than what's told on the media. But before I give my take on it, and it's not going to be long, this is an open panel, correct? Oh, yeah. Avengers, this is open panel, correct?
It is an open panel as far as discussion Shanquella, but if it's outside
Oh, yeah,
of that,
yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
gonna be open.
well, I was going to discuss her. Yeah. Oh no,
Okay.
my take on it is that listen, you know, yes, Mexico is a third world country. It is a country that the U.S. government has deemed, in particular regions, they give it do not travel indications, particularly where the four individuals were captured. That's pretty much on the scale of not. They have the same rating as the rating of Afghanistan. Pretty much do not travel at all. So for the life of me, I don't understand why Americans are still traveling to Mexico. The infrastructure is terrible. The economy isn't all that great. The government is terrible. It's absolutely dangerous. You have many parts of Mexico that are controlled by the cartels. Um, and, for the life of me, this will continue to persist if individuals from America go down there. There was a family that was recently killed. I want to say it was, I can't remember exactly. I believe it was in Tijuana, maybe. I'm not totally accurate, but it was an entire family of seven that was killed. Then you got the four individuals, and the lady is correct. There's a lot of cases of Americans being kidnapped in Mexico. But this is what I want to say, and I'm going to be very brief. Unless, and I don't know if you have any younger people watching, but unless you are um, primarily business of any kind with a group of black people, there is no reason that black people should ever be in the same circles with each other if they're drinking and smoking and partying. Black people have, in my 38 years, we cannot be together if we're not doing something productive. The moment she went down there with these individuals whom she barely knew, probably was her ticket towards the grave, unfortunately. I've learned over the course of my life never to go to barbecues, house parties, card games, anywhere that's around.
Oh yeah. So anywho, this is the open panel, but this is not the direction my channel goes into. Sorry. And so I'm sorry, but yeah, it's an open panel. I knew something was gonna be off. So yeah, no, this is not that type of panel. That's not always the case. We're not gonna be stereotypical on my channel. We're not gonna be boxing people in. And I figured something was gonna be off. And goodbye, sir. I'm sorry, but no, you can do that on your channel, okay? I have had plenty of great experiences with my people at barbecues and everything else. It is uneventful. And it's like in every community, in white communities, it can be in Hispanic or any community, there's always something that can happen. It's not just black people. You think that something like this doesn't happen in the white community, and then also Hispanic community, Asian community, and violence is all over the world, okay? And in any group or community. So we're not going to get into that. No. Okay. So that's anyway. Linda, you can pick up back where you were at. We were discussing the doctor. Did you have anything else to add with the doctor? Y'all are like,
I was
hey,
trying to get I was trying to get my mic back on.
okay.
And I forgot what I was getting ready to say. Clay cut me off. So I'm done.
Okay. So yeah, I don't really believe that the doctor was paid off, but that I believe that she is. We all hold doctors in high regard and high esteem, and we really believe that they should do their job and do a proper assessment and evaluation to treat you. And that's their job and that's their profession, right? So a lot of trust is placed into doctors. And I think that a lot of people believe that she did not do enough. So since she did not do enough, they feel that something is wrong because she's going outside of what a typical doctor should do or what a doctor should do. So since she's going outside of that and she really didn't do like her due diligence, according to everyone's standards, then that means that now people will hold her like, hey, that's when she gets added into conspiracies. So you pretty much sometimes get added into conspiracies when you're not moving according to how people think that someone should typically move, or based on their own perception or perspective for how you should move or things like that. But yeah, so that's why I think that she's really been added into this because she really didn't do her job as a doctor. So with that becomes, why didn't she do her job? And then that comes accusations of maybe accepting money or doing this or doing that. Because I mean, why else wouldn't a doctor do their job? And I think in this case, she did do evaluation and of Shanquella, and that's why she noticed the knot on her head. She spotted that, and I think she spotted the other injuries, and I think that she was suspicious of those people. And the thing is, they also mentioned Nazir, and they keep on mentioning Nazir and him helping the doctor with CPR, but they don't really mention others. So I'm thinking, like, if she did have questions, who would she be questioning about the knot on the head if Nazir is the only one there, like present near her, right? Who else should she ask? But then they also mentioned Winter and how she called, so she's there at some point too. So that makes me think that Winter was there. They're all around the doctor. Or the point we saw was probably when, in the video, to be honest, I mean, that picture is probably when she was already deceased, and that's why you only see the doctor and the paramedics. She's no longer here now. But I think before the paramedics arrived, others were in that room as well. And that at that point, I don't know what they all said when they probably said, I don't know. But I do believe the doctor did do her part, and that's why she's facing scrutiny. And I don't really blame people for scrutinizing her, right? Because she didn't do her job.
And Danny, the police report, didn't somebody say somebody was no foul play? And they really didn't start investigating until Mr. Bernard got that autopsy back, right? The Mexican police didn't start investigating. Am I correct?
I think that pretty much that the investigation, yeah, they pretty much were saying they were not really looking all into it until I think that, to be honest, they really wasn't going all into the investigation until that death certificate came out. When the death certificate was done, like put out, and then that's when I think they really opened the investigation, because there were statements put out before that it was just it was no foul play or anything involved. So as far as the doctor goes, I don't really believe that she was paid off. However, I do believe that there's people in this that are covering from their own ass, should I say, until they couldn't cover it anymore. And that means CaboVillas.com, because remember, I was showing that CaboVillas.com was actually removing things from their website because they didn't want to be sued. I think the American Medical Center was not really like trying to talk that much because they didn't want to be sued. And I think that even Mexico, they probably didn't go like do their due diligence as well with this, right? So I do believe that there was just pretty much people trying to cover their ass and not get sued in this. I do believe that, but I don't believe that anybody was pretty much paid off by the Cabo 5 or 6, if that's what I mean. I just think that people that were not doing their jobs, and that's why this happened. And
Okay.
there also is like people protecting themselves from being sued. So I do agree with that.
Okay. But just write it down now when everything over, so you can remember what Linda, you said that. Or either Linda, you were wrong.
Well, could it be possible that without payment, that there is some element of people covering for themselves, but I don't believe there's
Yeah.
any transactional payments involved in saying this cover for this.
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's just so much.
Yeah.
Okay, dear.
All right. Thanks for coming up. Did you have anything else you want to add in?
Hop down.
Okay. Okay, let me read some comments, and Oh my gosh. I'm reading some comments. Shout out to, let me check this. I'll make sure I verify the name. Okay, on this channel, I don't do all that other stuff. Save that. You can save that for your own channel, please, and thank you. Hold on a second. Shout out to Arista Bay. Hey, Arista Bay. Shout out to you for the cash up. I appreciate it. Thank you for the support and for supporting my channel. I greatly appreciate it. And Shell, you could always add your name to it as well as like your cash app as well when you're on my panel. That's fine with me. So if you have a cash app and you want to add it, just make sure it's like just a username and not your personal information on there. But just make sure that you can also add your cash app if you ever come on my panel. And that goes for anyone that joins my panel. Some people add it as like their username, whatever. Okay, so essentially, yes, and everybody else, you can support my channel for free just by hitting that like button. So let me see some of your thoughts and other questions. I'm gonna probably do like another half hour, and then we can do this again another day if everyone enjoyed it. Okay, so let's see. Benjamin says, we do have an independent autopsy that our father paid for. It contradicted the police report. The autopsy that everyone has is the one that has been presented by Sue Ann Robinson in his 18-page document. I don't really see anything presented by Shanquella's father. There was always talk about another autopsy, but I never seen the autopsy or heard about a real receipt of it. And anyone confirmed it, right? It's only this autopsy that's been done. I think there was discussion of possibly having one, but I don't think it actually was ever carried out, should I say. And as far as the second video, I think someone said something about a second video. That's always been a rumor about a second video, but what we do know, we can go by what we do know. And a lot of times I say, what do we know? What do we know is that there's only one arrest warrant, and that's for Desjanae Jackson. So if there's another video of someone else brutally attacking Shanquella, then I do believe that there would be more than one arrest warrant. But since there isn't, and Sue Ann Robinson did not say that there should be someone else like charged with the femicide along with Desjanae, and she doesn't know about it, and I really don't think that there's more than one direct aggressor. If there were two, I think there would be two arrest warrants for a direct aggressor. Beautiful B says, I think someone continued recording after the one we saw stop. Now, I do want to make that clarification. I don't believe that there's a video out there of someone else attacking Shanquella, but I do believe that there is another video of Desjanae continuing to attack Shanquella or attacking Shanquella before the video we saw. So I believe that before the video that we saw that she was being attacked, and also after, because Desjanae was still rageful and she was still in the mood to attack. She had not calmed down, and everyone knows, like after you brutally attack someone, or even a fight, should I say, there's a period of calming down, and usually there's like someone's intervention that stops it, or the person feels like they won and the other person's defeated, and then they stop. And I really don't think that she had reached the point where it was either an intervention at that point, because everyone was just standing by. And I also don't believe that she felt that she had completely won, because she was still also really still angry. So I still believe that there was another video. And remember, next to Malik, there's Winter that was still recording. So I still believe that there's more video, but I don't believe that the video will show anyone attacking Shanquella. It would just be well, I don't believe it was Winter attacking her. I believe it would be just Desjanae. And no one really has any proof of there being any other video out there of Winter attacking. And the person that they say is Winter that came on the panel or went on some kind of panel does not sound like Winter. Winter sounds more Southern. That person sounds like they're from upstate, and they also sound Hispanic, and Winter is biracial, white and black. I don't believe there's a second video. Palmer's in Eagle State. Okay. So Gotta Take 5 says they don't believe it's a second video. Okay. Brenda says designated was the focus on the first video. Winter, Malik, and Elise was the first focus in the second video. Again, that's all speculation and rumors. There has been no, like, even I would say, even from me, I would give an example of my own. When Nazir sent me a video, right? And it was on that 9-second video of him arriving at the villa. As soon as I posted it, people are already taking that video, cropping me out, cropping my name out. People are already posting it to their different places. So what I'm saying in that way is that this is social media, and as soon as a video like that is posted, or anything with this whole Shanquella Robinson, as soon as it's posted, it's going to be screenshotted, like boom, immediately, and other people are going to be posting on it. So that's why I don't believe it's a video as well, because it never went outside of people saying, oh, there's a video. Every video that has ever been posted by Shanquella Robinson case is taken instantly and screenshotted. So all of a sudden, that when nobody has it. But I could post a video, and then in a few minutes, it could be on other channels. Nah, I don't believe it. I'm just saying, that's not how the internet works. Yeah, we need the proof of that, because I'm telling you, I have posted a lot of things on this internet, and I'm telling you, as soon as I post it, it's gone. Screenshot or screen recorded, and it's taken off. It's not going to be just mine anymore. So that's why I'm telling you, if it's another video, people have seen it. Okay, they would have seen it. You want to add anything, Shell? Are you there, Shell? Did you fall asleep on me, girl? I don't know. I guess she stepped away. Okay. Yeah. So I don't believe it's a second video, because I'm telling you, even right now, like if I drop the video on something, trust me, it will be screen recorded immediately. And at that time, when they said a second video, that was a great time, because the one video of Shanquella went viral. You think that they dropped one with Winter, that would not have went viral too? That would have went viral, like fast, like boom. As soon as somebody posted it, some people would have took it. Says Mexico may have a bad rap, however, this incident is not on them. I would say that the whole thing with Mexico did drop the ball. I would say they did drop the ball on this from day one, when the doctor, the police, and everybody went out and did not do a proper assessment. So I do believe they dropped the ball. If they had done a proper assessment, everybody, all the professionals did their job, then they would have immediately known that this was way more than alcohol poisoning, needs to be, and nobody should be allowed to leave Mexico until they determine what's happening. So I do believe that Mexico dropped the ball. Now, I do believe that they have tried to correct it since the time when they've been called out, but it does not take away the fact that they dropped the ball in the first place. Lolanda says, yes, he was a victim. He was deceived by Jackson to help them get away. I'm going to drop the link again for anybody who wants to join for the last half hour. Okay, join link. And no, none of that other stuff, because this channel is not about that. This is about Shanquella, not to spin it off into a different direction. Hey, La Jessica. We would try talking about hating your own. The thing is with those types of topics and debates and discussions is that people act like Black people are the only community that has certain issues within their community. The same thing that he stated about the Black community could be said of other communities as well. And what I mean by that is that there are sometimes people go on trips in any community where someone could be unalived or something happens, and that it does not happen just Black people. To make it seem like it's just Black people, that's when it's like a problem. Yeah. And then to make it like overall to say that no one, we cannot have a barbecue or never have anything like that. I have been to numerous. Oh, I'm hungry now. Shoot, I have been to a lot of barbecues and events with Black people, and there was no issue at all. So we cannot say that happens. Like you can never do it. Like you have to be careful when you say there's these extremes. Who was that on that panel? And then I think they went into something about unproductive Blacks, and as if successful people all together cannot have something like that happen as well. I actually figured I saw that name before. I think I saw him on another channel that I'm friends with that person. I think they were on his panel. He was on their panel before, but I could not catch the name or place the name that quick. But then once I realized it, to be honest, that's when I had my hand on the mute button, because I was like, yeah, I think this is that person, but I wasn't 100% sure.
No. Awesome.
Hey, Ladam.
Hello, how you doing, Danny? And I believe that's Shell. How are
Yes,
y'all doing this morning?
Shell, are you there? I think Shell probably fell asleep on me, y'all.
Okay.
Yeah. Go ahead.
The reason why I called in is this: the concierge, right? I don't believe him at all, because he said that they wanted to find a place to eat because they didn't eat anything all day, right? Okay, so he got someone to give him a ride. I don't know if it was Uber whatsoever. But didn't anybody notice they had all the luggage with them? I mean, come on. You go to get something to eat and you take all your suitcases with you? He knew that they were leaving. I mean, I think he knew they were leaving. There's nowhere in the world you would not know they were leaving if they had all the luggage with them. And I think it's some story he made up when he tried to when he called back and found out that they weren't there when the maid said they weren't there anymore. I mean, I could be 100% wrong, but I would be suspicious if someone's just going to a restaurant and they're taking all their luggage with them. That's just me.
Well, for that, I would say is that once they call it the concierge, he's not going to actually be able to see what's happening. He can only like request like transportation for them, or should I say like request transportation, and then from there the transportation will actually go there, and then they will pick them up, and then from there they can probably change their destination or their plans to that person, and then he wouldn't find out till afterwards. Like, because basically the concierge is not on site, they're not at the villa with them, they are just like at home, and then they answer the phone and pretty much say like what's happening or what do you need. Like whenever I call each one, they always just say hello or hey, and then from there you tell them what you want or whatever.
Okay, that could be a possibility also, but I believe that they will have to go past someone with their luggage, because anyone can sneak out without paying a bill or something if they, don't see, or maybe I'm just that far off. I don't know. But either way, you're right. It could have happened that way. But this situation is so messy. There's so many different things coming in, like it's not being proven. So many ideas is not being proven. So many conspiracies. I mean, it's like to the point like you want to just like sit back. I mean, remain active in it, but sit back and wait till something is proven. Because things is easily can go like left if you just follow everybody's theory. Like what I said just now, right? I could have been 100% wrong. Yeah. But if somebody could have took me seriously, I would have led them down the wrong rabbit hole. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's because someone is in the chat saying about this the second video where it showed Winter and Malik laying hands on Shanquella. And I'm like, I can't even fathom that, because she was so thoroughly beaten by Dejanay. What if only if they wanted to unalive her that they would have put extra hands on Shanquella? I mean, that's my opinion. But she was like really beaten down. I can't see someone putting hands on her, beating her some more, and she didn't even protect herself the first time with Dejanay. So that's somebody in the chat saying like putting say Winter put hands on her and Malik put hands on her. But I just can't even believe that. And that's another conspiracy theory. I feel I could be wrong, and this stuff is going all over the place, and that's bad. I mean,
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of, I think that right now people are really just interested in this Shanquella Robinson and what's happening and why isn't there any justice? And I think that people are really just thinking that a lot of times, to be honest, in everything I've seen on YouTube, no matter what the topic is, there's always going to be conspiracies and things about what's happening with the case. And for a lot of times, sometimes actually, some conspiracies will be like more far fetched than others, but I mean, I'm not really surprised of this case. There's a lot of conspiracies and things going on because the case started off with lies and cover up. So I expect that most people won't believe what's going on with this case. I mean, like if you, like people always say, is everything is built on the foundation. So if the foundation of this case is built on lies and cover up of that, oh, Shanquella died of alcohol poisoning, everything that comes out of anybody's mouth is going to be questioned. Anything that's any aspect of this case is going to be questioned because I mean, the first thing we ever heard about was that this whole thing started off with a lie of alcohol poisoning and cover up. So that's what this case is built on, and that's what this is pretty much has become about, right? So I'm actually not really surprised by it. Should I say?
No, I agree with you because that's probably why like the police they're not you don't see every move they're making. They're not informing the public every move they make. The FBI they're not informing the public every move they make because people are going to take little things and run with it. Okay, so what you're doing is like you know is to be applauded is 100% correct. You're keeping people aware. I'm keeping this thing alive for people. But we also have to be patient because I'm quite sure they're working on something and they're not sharing it with the public. Okay. So, I appreciate people like you and other YouTubers that's keeping this alive. Okay. But we also have to be patient and be diligent about it and sit back and watch what they're doing to make sure they're doing their job.
Yeah, we definitely do. And that's why I said that it's important just also with the petition to make sure that we are continuing to apply pressure and contact the different people to make sure everyone stays on top of this because we definitely don't want her to be put on the back burner or just forgotten about, right? I believe that in all cases that the FBI will make cases a priority, and some they will actually think that they can take their time on. Others they feel like, hey, people are watching us, and we need to stay on top of this. And I definitely believe that Shanquella, even with like Benjamin Crump and Sue Ann Robinson joining in on this, that they believe that they are being watched, and they definitely have to stay on top of this. So I do believe that her case is a priority. But I also believe, as in anything with the government, they move so slow. They always move slow in anything that they do. And I believe that, just like in the case of Bruce Redman, that the FBI and the Department of Justice are just going to move slow. And nothing we really can do is going to rush it, but we can make sure that they stay on top of it. If you understand what I mean by that.
Oh,
So
I understand.
yeah. So I really don't think it would take as long as the Bruce Redman case, which took almost, to be honest, like a year and a half before he was even extradited. I don't think it would take that long. Now I did email Sue Ann Robinson about the provisional arrest. I don't know. I don't think she responded. I have to check that email to see if I don't think she actually will respond to it or not, but I did send that information to her. So hopefully that can actually happen. We don't know. We will see. But yeah, I think that everybody has grown impatient. I mean, like and now with this report, we definitely can see that it was ruled as a violent crime, and it was allosuxation, just like as before, and more details about her injuries and everything else that was sustained. And I think there is still a great debate about whether some people still believe that she was unalive, even though, like, to be honest, the autopsy report, the full one that we just saw, actually kind of clarifies that she actually was just unresponsive because of the injury sustained like 12 hours before her death. But there's always going to be people on either side of the coin, right?
I agree. I agree.
Hey, how's it going?
Hello, is this the real page?
For what? For me? Deny? Yeah.
This sounds like someone different.
No, no. I'm the seasons are changing, so I'm kind of under the weather right now.
Hmm. Okay. So what did you want to add?
So I just wanted to add just some intellectual value. The reason it takes long is because it has to go through a process. The United States and Mexico signed an extradition treaty in 1978 that provides for the return of those who have committed crimes and fled across the United States and or Mexico. In every case basically presented, the option of extradition is considered. So they're in the process of considering it with the Department of Justice. Once the Department of Justice, which is a government branch, say, okay, we received this from Mexico. Let's push it forward to the Department of State. The Department of State is in. It has to be the Texas Department of State because that's where the border is, and that's the actual last touchdown basis in which, like, before you go to Mexico, that's how it is normally. So what's gonna happen is the feds are gonna have to get involved and get her to Texas and let the Texas government process them and put them over across the border. That's what's going to have to happen. And unfortunately, that does take time. And there's no time cap or constraint on it. And because of that, that's a way for, them to look at the black and white paper and justify why it's taking so long. And I believe that it's a possibility that this whole situation with Shanquella could be used as a political decoy to gain the emotional support in the black vote coming 2024. So I just wanted to put it out there. I think that they're going to drag this on for as long as possible because according to law, there's absolutely nothing saying 180 days or this amount of time or anything like that. And plus, on top of it, is femicide, which is equivalent to murder in the state of Texas. And they have a whole graph, and I posted a PDF document that I'm talking about. It's a whole book called the penal code that I'm talking about. It's a PDF. If you specifically go to page 9, you can clarify what I'm saying. This is the criminal prosecutions under Article 4 of the Mexican Federal Penal Code. Go ahead and take a look at that and look at page 9. You understand what I'm saying. But yeah, I totally believe they're gonna use this as a way to, it's what's captured all black people and the sympathy and the empathy. They're just using this as a political decoy, I believe, honestly. And so the more we show care and concern, the more they're gonna try to like play with us. That's what they just do. They do that, honestly. And also, if and when Dejanay is extradited to Texas, according to this Mexican Federal Penal Code, um, the charge is equivalent to murder in the state of Texas, and in Mexico, what she did is punishable by life in prison or death. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that.
Well, in this case, for Shanquella, she's out of North Carolina, so she's going to be extradited from North Carolina to Mexico.
She has to be turned over by the FBI in from North Carolina to the Department of State in Texas, so that Texas can transfer her over across the border. That's what has to happen. It's the Texas FBI that has to really go ahead, and they have the signatory power to ship her, because regardless of how you see it, you got to go through Texas. When you're doing something, you got to go through TSA, and all of that is federally connected, so they have to go through the Department of State of Texas. Now that could very much look like the paperwork and everything is processed. They have to touch bases with the FBI and the department.
How can I get this off?
Okay, so just finish the
Go ahead
video
and
and go.
end this live now, because now
No, hold on.
I know what something told me that somebody was gonna.
Oh my gosh! But just end this. This is what you do. Just continue the video, right? And then just go back in the studio and cut that part out. That's it. Don't ruin your intellect. Don't miss your views. Don't do
Something
none of that.
told me not to click on that person. Ciao. So from now, I'm gonna have to ask for cameras. So people play too much, like taking a serious case like Shanquella and using this to block.
Right. That's.
Yeah. So I'm
But
definitely.
anyways, I do whatever you want to do. But the next time you talk about this, I want to be full fledged part of the discussion. Please and thank you.
Thank you for coming up, and I definitely will check this out before the next live. But yeah, I'm gonna go to end this because somebody's trying to sabotage my channel. I ain't got time for that. Yeah,
That's
thanks for
just
everybody
sick.
Mm-mm.
for coming. Go ahead, Linda.
That's just sick.
Yeah, and I mean, like, to be honest, my instincts kicked in and I said, do not add this person, do not add. But then I went ahead. But yeah, so now I'm going ahead and end this live, and I'm gonna go ahead and edit this out. And I will see y'all tomorrow. And do not, I'm actually gonna check out the PDF that you sent. I
Thank
apologize,
you.
everybody. From now on, I'm gonna have to actually have people. I don't want to see cameras, but now I have to authenticate people now. Thinking my head, people have to run for everybody because I know everybody want a camera and everything else. So that's messed up. But yeah, thanks for coming. I will redo this live, and trust me, I will edit it out, and this live will be available for everybody else. And I greatly apologize. I will have to think of another way to verify people now that I see people are on my channel playing games. Ciao. All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye bye.